Today's A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan podcast is brought to you by our good friends at Guardian Water Services.
Yep. If you have disgusto water, maybe you live out in the sticks and you're on well water, or your city water is not so good because it's got chlorine in it, and it's like, it tastes kind of funny.
Yeah.
You won't even notice until you get the RO system like me and Daniel
But then you can never go back.
No.
You can never, once you have it in your home, you are ruined for going to restaurants. So you go out to eat, you get some dishwater and an old Pizza Hut cup, and it tastes like garbage.
It's basically your own personal reverse osmosis system underneath your sink that you get pure water. You don't have to do the water filters and all that stuff. You hook it up to your fridge. We know tons of our listeners who've done that. And if you want a full conditioning system in your house, it'll save your pipes. It'll save your appliances.
Any of the fixtures that you have. Plus, they use the best in the business. They use Westinghouse, which is a company that's been in business for way before I was alive, even.
Yeah. And you could use less expensive soap when you get the conditioning system. They'll explain that all to you. Mm-hmm. But, you save money on soap, save money on, repiping your house is $4,000. Like, it's worth it just to get the system so you never have to repipe your house and your dishwasher doesn't break every 5 years because of sediment buildup.
Well, a lot of you guys know Josh and his team. Guardians, not only do they provide us with clean and wonderful drinking water for our families, but they do a lot for, kids with congenital heart defects. They work hand in hand with the Yellow Brick Road Foundation. It's something that's near and dear to Josh and his team's heart. So every time you purchase something, every time you have them out to your house to even do a test or something like that, they're putting a lot of that money back into the community to help Yellow Brick Road and other charities within our area.
Yep. BDM owned. Josh is a great guy.
He's a wonderful dude.
It's GuardianWaterServices.com.
Live from the Streamline Mortgage Solutions studio, it's Orlando's own Tom and Dan.
Hello. This is your Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan program. We hope that you will find our presentation precise, joke heavy, and just right. Thanks.
Welcome to the Friday free show of A Mediocre Time.
Hey, everybody. It is another A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom. Samantha's here. How you doing, Samantha?
Hey, I'm here.
Woo-woo! Ross McCoy is here.
Yeah.
How's it going, Ross? Yes. Real quick, we've got a live...
he's just jumping right in.
Quick.
Hit it. Do it.
We've got a live podcast coming up May 28th at the Hurricane Party. So if you already have tickets to the Hurricane Party, then all you need to do is buy the upgrade. It's at tomandan.com. But basically, if you want to go to the podcast, you do need tickets for the Hurricane Party. All the information is on the front of our website. And the podcast, we're doing an hour-long podcast from 12 to 1 with some special guests and in their the West End performance room.
Yeah, it's going to be really, really cool. I haven't been in there since they've done the little renovation deal. So
it's nice.
I'm excited. I'm excited to be in there.
And so...
It's really cool. Do not lean up against the Tupac picture. It is made of glitter.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I will not. Glitter Tupac. Good to know. Good to know.
So we haven't done a live podcast in a while. It's been...
it's going to be rusty.
Yeah.
When was the last time?
Last time at West End.
So, 3 years ago?
That was the Hurricane Party of
2019?
Yeah, right before everything got shut down. Right before,
that was in June. So...
Right as things were getting shut down.
No. They got shut down in 2020, March.
Yeah.
I have no concept. I don't even know why I answer these things. When the thing happened.
Because it was I was supposed to go to Atlanta in January 2020, and December 2019, I got sick, and I kept going to the doctor, and I was like, what's wrong with me? And then fucking 2 weeks of tests. They were like, we don't know. It's some weird virus in your stomach. and then
Did
like,
it have like corona symptoms?
the minute they came out with that, they gave me like some medicine that helped a little bit. And then like 2 days later, I got better, and I just stopped fucking with it. And then like a week later, corona was a thing.
Yeah, it for sure was already
A thing.
everywhere,
Yeah.
and then no one knew because the test,
It had to have been.
Yeah,
It's just a bug. Let it run its course.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just like it that I literally got a diagnosis of some weird virus that we don't know about right now, and then corona came out a week later.
There's a lot of people with those similar stories, and it's funny because you saw it on the news. It's like, oh, one guy got into like California with corona, so you thought like it like Adam and Eve, it all spread from one, but it was like, nah, most likely it was all in
Just
our
like in the
community.
stand, some guy got out of the facility. He went and grabbed his family, panicked, and crashed in a gas station, and got Ralph and all those guys sick.
Exactly. That's what happened.
Probably all everywhere at that time. Anyway, speaking of disease,
It definitely was bat meat, though. We are 100%.
Yeah.
It is
Oh, yeah.
100%.
I've never varied from bat meat.
Fuck a wet market.
so what are your guys' experience with?
Hey, can't fuck a dry market, am I right? Hey!
By the way, a wet market
Grass on the
sound
market.
gross.
Yeah.
Well, you buy. Where do I buy my slimy meat? You buy it at the wet market. Well, where do I buy my beef jerky? At the dry market, you idiot.
Should I wear my good shoes to the wet market?
It does sound gross, right?
So, what's your guys' experience with tetanus? Like how?
Wow, you're the coolest dude in the room.
Like, have you had any friends or family like get tetanus or say like
Tetanus dick.
Wait a minute. Is this what's been going on with your throat?
No,
You got tetanus? You got tetanus throat?
So,
Surveying, we would get jagged up by like a rusty bar reference all the time, and the joke would always be, "You got your tetanus shot," and nobody ever did.
Nobody
ever did.
Ross, I'm glad you're here for this. Okay, because I want your
Do
opinion.
you have tetanus? That's contagious, dude.
The what?
No, I don't know anything about it. You guys should never trust anything that I say. Plus, the only time I ever thought about tetanus is when my mom and dad were like, you've had all your vaccines, or if you're a Rogers family member, your inoculations, or what are you, immunized, or what did what term did he use? Immunized.
I was on my roof like
Why?
4 days ago blowing leaves because I have this leaf
Was there a woman sunbathing in her backyard? Because that's what happened to me 2 weeks ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey.
I didn't even. I had headphones in, so I didn't realize it. My husband's like, "What are you showing off for the neighbors?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And the guy behind us was blowing leaves off.
Yeah.
Oh, it was just blowing one spot.
He set up a chair up there.
You know how hard it is to hide your dick behind a
Leaf blower?
A leaf blower.
Dude, some guy came down my goddamn dead end street the other day. My wife's in the front yard tending the garden. He did a slow look on the way in and a slower one on the way out. And on the way out, I was like, "Get the fuck out of here!"
What was you looking at?
My wife's ass. Bent over working the fucking tomatoes, dude.
Works naked in the tomato.
Hold on, she's like that thing that people put in the gardens of
Literally,
Yeah.
she was literally doing that, man.
That's hilarious.
There was the cowboy
performance
smoking.
art.
There was a cowboy smoking right next to her.
Holding the lamppost.
So anyway, I'm blowing leaves off my roof because I'm.
Does anybody do that?
As a
Apparently.
recent gutter owner, I'm only a gutter owner for like the last 6 months or so.
Okay.
Every fucking 2 or 3 weeks, you got to get those fucking leaves out the roof, or they're clogged.
I thought Rick from our client told you not to do that because you're damaging the integrity of your brand new roof, you idiot.
He did, but there's no other way. The only
You
other
just
way.
leave them up there. Who cares? It's
No.
the top of your house. Who looks at the top of your house?
No, they're in the gutters, and then
You got to get those little things that go over the gutters.
I know. I got to
Stop
get
being
the
a
things.
cheapskate.
Those things
but they
get covered too,
Yes.
and then the mush leaks into your gutters, and then they fill up fucking anyway. There's
Okay.
no getting around cleaning your roof.
All I heard was
when you
mush
got gutters.
back to wet market.
Ross knows. And then they show that on like how you're, I guess, supposed to do it is take a 6-foot ladder, like an A-frame ladder, and stand up there, and every 1 foot, like put
That's
one
how my dad had me do it, into a Walmart bag.
Yep.
One handful of leaf at a time. That's insane,
dude. That is how my my father.
That's how we used to do it too.
Daniel Reams Dennis. That is how my father would make me clean all of the gutters on his ginormously long house.
Or hose.
What, the hose?
Hose?
Spray
I'm not
the
going to
hose
get no
down the
hose to
gutter.
clean my gutter.
I waited too long, and the leaves have turned into soil. And it's too deep.
It already decomposed. You got a whole compost
Anyway,
heap up there.
Did you do the third step, which my fucking wife did the other weekend, which is all those little patches where they decomposed and made it like a little bit brown on your tiles. She got out there with a fucking toothbrush and she brushed the patches clean, dude.
No.
And I was against it. I was like, "You're gonna brush the fucking grit off." And she was like, "No, I'm gonna clean it."
That's
it looks
an advanced
great.
move.
It does look great.
Wow.
It's I like, you know, it is a new roof, so there's stains I just like blowing out of there.
I was like, "The sun will bleach it away, babe." Just leave it.
Yeah.
She's like, "No."
Anyway, so I'm up there cursing, blowing leaves off the roof. I blow them onto the ground.
How do you even notice they're up there? You don't notice anything.
Well, because my wife yelled at me.
Yeah, I knew it.
I've been telling this story for years. People are tired of hearing it.
Never learn your lesson.
It just, they were overflowing into my patio again, and then Crystal had to
The gutters are?
Yeah.
Oh, so no, you got that fixed because you got that new, like, scaffolding deal, right?
No.
And then you put in the French drains.
Yeah, I did that, but that doesn't.
That's only if the water flows down the pipes. When the leaves back up, it fills up the gutters, and then the water just rolls right over the leaves, and it's the same as having a roof and no gutters.
and then it's a waterfall,
Yep.
and then my wife has to get out there in a bra and panties.
Hey now.
It's this whole thing where we have to.
And then
strip
I
down.
do the slow in, and I do the slow out, just like
And then she has to
Ross's friend.
climb up on a ladder and then take the clog out or whatever, and she's screaming that I'm going to kill myself. And then anyway, so I'm up there blowing the leaves off. So I blow all the leaves out of the gutters. I'm blowing like bugs and whatever.
You're
like,
just blowing the leaves from the gutters back on the roof.
Yeah,
And then blowing the leaves from the roof back into the gutters. I've done this.
And so I've got this little pool shed that I actually stole from. I say stole because I was abandoning the house in Deltona to foreclose on it, and I just started taking everything that I could that wasn't bolted down. And then one was the pool shed, and I
Your
put
shed wasn't bolted down?
No. I have no
He's
bolts.
not known for his boltable shed.
Anytime they ask me to put like some hurricane safe, like secured like wire or stick it to the, I'd never do that.
God forbid those IKEA anchors for just like a TV stand.
The earthquake anchors, so the thing or babies don't.
How did you get that to your home? Did you take it apart?
I took it apart.
Or did you put it in the back of your trunk?
I took it apart. It was the worst thing I ever did. Anyway, so apparently, and so I blew a bunch of leaves on the roof of that, and then I was blowing the leaves off of that, right?
Into your neighbor's yard?
No, into my yard.
Oh.
But
Mostly.
Who's going to rake all these leaves?
Well, that's my next. Then I get on the
boys
ground.
will do it.
No, they don't
His
do
hands are
nothing.
going to fall off.
So I can only figure out that some roofing nail must have been in like some slat on top of that pool shed, right? From when I got my house redone.
Yeah.
And then it must have stuck in there and been like lodged in there because they went around with the metal detectors and put out tarps to make sure there was no roofing nail.
Well, you haven't had a problem until now.
But I blew from blowing the leaves out of
the
that.
evidence is here that you did something. Yes, you disturbed the force of nails or something.
Because it just didn't appear on the same floor that I walk across every. Anyway,
Maybe Dan's right, and you shouldn't be tromping around on that roof up there, and you kicked a bunch of nails loose.
How you caught him?
So
he does stomp.
Yeah,
he cannot
You
walk
walk like
quietly.
every Spanish woman that was at my physical therapy this morning. They have these people in my physical therapy that can't walk, and they slappy walk. It's like fling, 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 fling. They just fling their feet down.
Yeah.
It's
He
painful.
shook the whole Air T&D when we were working on it
Yeah.
together, walking back and
man.
forth. I was like, what the hell?
Even when he walks around here, I'm like, can you stop? I can't read my monitor.
I have a disability. How dare you? I have flat foot
Just the
disability.
one? Were you up on the roof in those flip-flops?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, those are OSHA, though. Like steel toe.
Anyway, speaking of flip-flops, then I got down trying to blow the leaves off, and I'm blowing in this corner area near the pool shed, and I step backwards, and I feel the nail go in through the bottom of my sandal, through my foot.
Yes.
And like you feel the puncture. It's like it pushes like, and then it breaks
You can
through.
feel it pop. You can feel it pop. It's like when you have a dull knife and you're trying to cut a tomato.
And then I'm like, and I go to kick my sandal off.
But you can't.
And it's stuck.
Yeah.
It nailed
Oh,
it to the
my
bottom
God.
of my
So
foot.
it does that move where it just comes off your toes and then it just swings down. Bloom, 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 and then the blood are flowing.
And then so I'm like, and then I pull it up, and then I stepped on the rustiest roofing nail you can imagine, right? And so at first,
It won an award.
I I started thinking
Podcast award.
maybe it didn't puncture the thick callus a part of my feet.
You felt it, though.
I love that his first thought is, well, maybe
Didn't go far enough.
maybe my superpowers have protected me once again.
Right.
Why are you?
I have thick feet.
You've been training your front kicks and your roundhouses so frequently. Why wouldn't you have those pads?
Well, it's just because I wear sandals all the time and I walk barefoot, so I have.
So you thought that this had prepared you for roofing nails? It makes sense.
You thought a big toe thong tan was going to stop a nail.
Yeah.
And so, but then I squeezed it a little bit and blood coming out. So I know that I was like, all right, it punctured my foot, this nail. So then I sit there and I'm like, I remember the old, like, you step on a rusty nail. You have to go to get a tetanus shot.
Right. Yes.
And that was the whole thing. But it was a long time. Like, more people talked about it, like, I feel like in the 90s than they do now, right?
When it was like two things that people used to talk about in the 90s were tetanus and rabies. Remember when rabies was the thing? It's like,
oh,
you got bit by a dog? Like, no, it was just a little...
You see a raccoon during the day, they got rabies.
Yeah, or like I had a friend's little dog bite me. It didn't even break the skin, really. And they're like, you got to get a rabies shot. And I'm like, well, why?
Really?
And then it was like, you have to catch the animal that bit you and
cut
chop
its
head off.
And freeze its head. Yes,
That was the thing. You have to bring.
Do you know how many times my dad did that to dog? My dad, we had for one summer, we had like 9 dogs' heads in our freezer. I was getting bit by everything because I love animals. I love dogs.
Yeah. It was all cut the
4 pit bulls I got bitten by. My dad had to go, excuse me, I got to chop your dog's head off here. Pardon me.
Do you bring it to the doctor with you in a bag in a cooler?
You chop it off yourself.
Had to get a special freezer at JCPenney just for the heads.
We got ours at Sears, but we did have a freezer.
So, anyway, I'm saying...
You must have been my neighbor.
First, I have no idea the timeline of, like, because all I remember is people saying, oh, if you step on a rusty nail, you have to get a tetanus shot. But then I started thinking, I was like, well, I never heard anything after that, like, within 3 to 5 days or 4 to 5 hours.
Okay,
or, like, there's only a window. Like, I don't remember.
It's almost like your overheard, half-remembered medical advice is incomplete.
Exactly.
So go on it.
So anyway, then I start thinking. I'm like, all right, what do I do here? Because I'm too late. Like,
well, the first thing you do is finish.
Well, you're never going to tell your wife, right?
No, because she is going to immediately, worst case scenario, like, oh, you got to go. Like, it's going to, get infected. You're going to die.
Well, she's probably going to make sure that the boys know where that nail is. Did you just throw it back into the yard?
The cat kicked him to the grass. But I put it spiked down.
Yeah. You're not an idiot.
So I was like, can't tell the wife because she's immediately going to tell me, oh, you have to go to the goddamn emergency room or whatever. Like
and you can't tell me because I'm your I'm also your work wife, and I'm going to say the exact same thing Crystal's going to say. By the way, and I am a crow.
And you're going to say, like, I have tetanus right now.
You're going to tell me the story. My foot's going to start hurting.
Yeah. So then you're going to go get a tetanus shot.
I did.
So then I'm like, all right, well, now I just have someone I can call for advice or the internet, right? So but I know the problem with the internet is I've started to realize, like, anytime I go to the internet for advice, it's extremes of both sides.
Worst case scenarios.
And it's one size fits all advice that I feel like is way too conservative. Like,
you need some bespoke advice.
Well, for instance,
like legit.
Like, anytime you're like, I have some chest pain, like, immediately, like, go to the hospital immediately. Like, and
you
just
got
like
tetanus, bro.
No, but it's like, well, it could be heartburn or something. Like, you don't know all the details, and I can't write all the details of what kind of chest pain it is and how old I am and all the stuff in the goddamn search bar. I just search chest pain and they say go to the hospital immediately. And I'm like, well, that's too, it's too careful, right? And you don't need to go to the hospital for every time you have a chest pain. Or that's what I'm thinking about the rusty nail. And then, but I know I haven't gotten a tetanus shot since I can't even remember, right?
But how many do you need? Like, again,
I don't know.
You're supposed to get a booster like every 10 years or something, right?
Really? Man, I better get a booster.
Well, then, speaking of the booster, every time I go to Publix, in my Publix in Castleberry, for whatever reason,
you, right?
Well, no, there's a giant sign.
Well, you guys have the most diseases in Castleberry.
A lot of tetanus.
Yeah, they got all the shots at Castleberry because that place is just.
Yeah. I don't know if they have this at all Publixes, but there's a giant, and I'm like, by giant I mean 2 foot tall.
No, we're clean here, man.
In a plastic one of those stands that you put the paper in, whatever. advertisement for tetanus vaccine, and then it says like get it here, right? And I've seen it for months now.
Tetanus vaccine.
Which I always look at.
Next, you're going to tell me I got to put a mask on my foot.
And when I see, like, for months, I've been looking at it and wondering, that's weird that they're advertising a tetanus vaccine, right? Like, you would think, like, maybe corona or flu. Like, tetanus is a weird
I see where you're going.
advertisement. It's just
They're
weird,
dropping
right?
nails out of planes.
That's what I was thinking.
You heard about this one?
Yeah, Chem nails. I've heard about these Chem nails. But that's real shit.
But that's that made me realize that Publix does it, because I didn't want to go to the damn hospital or the walk-in clinic, because then you sit down there for, like, I don't want to waste hours for something that I may or may not need based on, like, how serious is it? Like, is tetanus... Do you 100% get it if you step on a rusty nail?
Does anybody here know
what's the percentage?
Does anybody here honestly know? But I mean, I would imagine Ross
It's called
would know.
lockjaw. It makes your tendons tighten up, and the thing that kills you is you eventually can't move your jaw muscle, so you starve to death. You just can't get anything.
Wait a minute, that's good for about 3 months. You get that
they can just give me a liquid IV, right?
It's permanent though, so once that happens, you're just locked in.
Yeah.
Like,
there's no reversing it.
And then you're pried open.
And the thing is, like, it's not every piece of rusty metal has tetanus on it. It's just that the tetanus virus or bacteria, whatever causes tetanus, can live. It's like an anaerobic bacteria. I want to say it can live in the same environment that rust also lives in.
Okay.
So, and I think maybe it's also like animal born. So, like, if a deer brushed against, this is where I'm going way off of.
It's fine. No, I'm enjoying all of it.
Like a deer brushes up against a barbed wire fence and it's got tetanus on its fur or whatever, and then you get scraped by that and it gets into your blood through that way. That's how you get tetanus. You get scraped by some rusty metal that has tetanus on it.
Gotcha. Okay.
How's your neck and jaw feeling?
Well, okay.
My jaw.
Or even like your elbows, your ankle bones, everything will start to tighten up.
He's real stiff, and he has been. I think you had pre-tetanus.
Mm-hmm.
So I text the wizard.
Trouble articulating thoughts?
Well, first I should have texted Ross and asked him, because what would you say, Ross, if I said I stepped on this rusty nail? I'll show you the picture of it.
Oh man,
standard square head roofing nail.
Yeah.
I know.
I gotta say, roofing nail, the most aggressive nail, just based on looks to me.
Yeah, I'll show
right up there with
Twitch.
railroad spike.
Probably got in you like a half inch.
Yeah.
Less.
It stuck into my foot enough to draw blood. So that's where I was like, well, if it didn't draw blood, I would have just ignored it. Or if there was any way for me to determine how likely it was that I got tetanus, if you told me 1%, I would have.
You didn't clean your sandals. You just bled all over them, and you're still wearing them, right?
Oh, yeah, same thing. I'll show you the whole.
Yeah, right. That's what I thought.
Never even put a Band-Aid on it, because again, like a couple drops of blood came out, and then it healed.
Well, his elephant skin will fuse back together,
So, what would you have said, Ross, if I text you and said, I stepped on this nail?
Who is this? Don't bother me at home.
And should I get a tetanus shot?
I said you're on a good squeezing the blood out. It's a good start. Get that bad blood out. Let some good blood get in there.
I like that.
And
like
then can my wife suck it out like the joke of a snake bite?
Well, if you got a nail through your penis,
would she suck your feet to begin with? Or you guys let's rule that out. Let's see which one of the kids will do it for candy. That's a backup. But no, you got one of those you get that little yellow Neosporin tube later. You got kids, right? You got that little yellow. Put that fucking tube right up against the hole and jam it right in there.
Squirt it in there.
Squirt it right in the hole.
I used to get a lot of ingrown toenails from soccer. And that's what I would do. I'd peel the skin of that ingrown toe open, and I'd stick the tip of Neosporin on it, and I'd inject it with Neosporin. The next day, all healed.
And this goes without saying, but like wash it first, and then the Neosporin, and then a Band-Aid.
You lost him at wash.
Keep it clean, so that because like secondary infection, you're way more likely to get a secondary infection
than tetanus.
Yeah. Especially bottom of your foot, open shoot as you roll.
Yeah. I didn't do any of that.
We know.
Never even didn't even clean my foot for weeks after.
Yeah, well, we know
the bottom.
You know why we know that? Because the cracks on your feet are black.
Yeah.
And they've been black for years.
They're tattooed now. That's how it happens. Anyway, so I texted my buddy the wizard because he's my least cautious friend.
Cut your foot off.
And he told me that apparently he was an environmental scientist that was out in the field a lot, kind of like a surveyor or whatever. Yeah. And they take.
That was the guy we'd worry about busting out smoking weed.
Yeah. Which this is. And he's like, oh, yeah, you should go. And because he said it and not my wife, I was like, fuck, well, I'll go to Publix because of the marketing campaign.
Make it easy on yourself. Yeah, it's working.
I don't want to go wait in some waiting room for a long-ass time at the damn walk-in,
Yeah, I don't blame you. I just did that today and got nothing.
So, does a vaccine work after the fact? I don't know.
Well, you're Ross, you're thinking exactly like me.
Yeah.
So
See,
then...
we're more alike than we are different, all in this together.
So, because
there's like an AIDS vaccine, it's not going to do Magic Johnson any good.
Well, that's what
got
I
it.
tell you about the corona. Like people get corona and then they'll go and be like, "Give me the vaccine," and they're like, "It doesn't work like that." So that's how I know about how vaccine. So they are marketing tetanus vaccine. So I call the pharmacy to ask the lady that works there, like, is this the same tetanus shot that you're supposed to get when people say, when you step on a rusty nail, get a tetanus shot? Or is this the tetanus vaccine that you have to get before you step on a rusty nail?
Aftercare, or is this a preventative measure?
Because you're marketing as a vaccine, and what I know about vaccine is you have to get it before you get the tetanus, or what, I don't know.
We fucked that word up the last couple of years. Real bad. And people don't know, and then they don't want to know.
I stumped this lady because apparently no one's ever asked this before in the history of Publix. And also, the lady sounded... Now, I don't know what the qualifications are for working at the pharmacy.
If they're a farm tech, they don't necessarily have to know anything, really.
Yeah.
It's
like a vet tech.
You just have to learn, SIG code, and that's kind of it.
Like you're kind of like a paid intern.
That's what I used to do.
The register. It's just you work at the register, right? Or like...
You can do other stuff, but you don't have to know any medical knowledge.
Yeah. If you can find that little
you got to get the pharmacist.
If you can find that little pale green jacket at Goodwill, you're good to go.
Yes.
So I asked
farm techs are not. They don't know. They did not go to medical school or pharmacy school.
It was apparent.
Or farming at all.
I guarantee Daniel knows more about medicine and
I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good.
Anything medical than this lady did, because she didn't know. She was like, she's like, it's the tetanus vaccine.
It starts with a T, and then the vial starts with a T, and that's good.
And then I asked her that question. I was like, yeah, but like now that I've stepped on a nail, can I get this? Is it the same as the tetanus shot that people need to get?
Did she do that? Let me ask my boss.
Yeah. She's like, put me in a hold. She put me in a hold. Then she's like, she comes back and she's like, the pharmacist said if you haven't gotten a tetanus shot in the last 10 years, they recommend a tetanus vaccine booster.
Oh, you're fine.
But I'm like, yeah, but did you ask? What if I already stepped on the nail? And then she's like, that's what she said. And then I'm like, all right, well, I guess then I'll just go here and get it. It's got to be better than nothing. And that's what I did. Like, I just went there.
You're supposed to get the booster if you've already stepped on the nail.
Okay, all right.
Oh, wow. Oh, look at Dr. Sam.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Hey, thank you,
I just use Google.
Well,
he can't use
what
Google.
happens when you step on a rusty nail.
Then it says get the tetanus shot.
No, it says booster.
It says the vaccine booster.
It says booster.
But then it also says if you already got the tetanus shot at one time, which I have no recollection of ever.
Well, you're probably a kid or something, right?
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
That badge they give us. Yeah.
But it's just
it's hard for me to believe that that's still in my bloodstream.
What am I going to call my mom? She's going to remember like no one knows.
I have a memory of that when I was really, really little. I remember getting this one test, and tell me if you guys remember this. I remember going to the doctor, and they would take this little white piece of plastic, and on the opposite side of it, there were a bunch of different needles. And they would take it almost like an allergy test, but it was like one particular test, and they'd stick it on your arm and push it in and pull it out. And then they would say, okay, keep an eye on that and watch to see if some of these little pricks bubble up. If they bubble up, then you're going to need to come back.
Yeah, I remember something like that.
It's an allergy test, right?
I thought it was an allergy test. Yeah.
It was like an allergy test, but I want to say it was like in that original, like you're a kid and you're getting all your shots. But I remember getting that, and I remember I was fucking terrified that the thing was going to bubble up. That's how far this hypochondria shit is. It's not something
you're born with it,
yes,
Lady Gaga.
Absolutely born with it, Lady Gaga. Because I can remember looking at that and thinking, as a child, if that bubbles up, you're as good as fucking dead. Like, seriously, there was somebody narrating that shit in my brain at 3, 4, 5. I remember that.
My son Max has a little bit of that I noticed.
sorry.
Or just a little bit of...
They're saying that's tuberculosis test.
Okay, yeah, it was tuberculosis.
By the way, Tom, just because you got this booster shot doesn't mean you won't develop tetanus.
Yes!
It's just a lesser chance, so keep an eye out on any new symptoms, but you have literally
symptoms.
every ailment, so I don't know how you're going to tell the difference.
Stiff and screaming this morning, and extreme anger and stiffness is tetanus.
Yeah. I am bad with keeping an eye out. Don't ask me to watch anything.
Look for increased soreness, warmth and redness, swelling, discharge from the wound, fever or chills, tightness in the jaw, stick legs. Stiffness in neck, difficulty swallowing. Just keep an eye out.
Bright
you already
yellow
got throat
eyeballs?
problems, so
It makes your tendons all curl up. You
body
start,
spasms.
you can't,
yeah.
you can't straighten your fingers.
Wait, you already have that.
I know. So how are we supposed to know?
His hands are already gnarled.
It's got to be insanely rare because who have you ever known that's gotten...
I've never known a person.
Yeah.
Look up famous people with tetanus. Seriously. There's got to be
I've never even
somebody.
heard of anybody like getting tetanus or rabies for that matter.
It's an old world disease, right? You'd like to think that a lot of these are gone.
Bullshit.
It's like when somebody comes in and it's like, my mom, the plague's still around. She got it on her foot. And I'm like, ew, what the fuck were you doing?
Yeah. How did that happen?
But nobody famous, but probably a million
There
guys
are
in the
famous
Midwest.
people, but they're way old. You know what I mean? Like in the
Old man?
1920s,
Dumb
they
old
died
man?
from tetanus.
Like Clint
They
Eastwood got it on his farm or something, but not like make a
Fred
movie.
Thompson.
Fred Thompson.
Who was a silent film cowboy actor.
Fred Thompson, the silent film cowboy.
That's you. That is you during
Well,
sex.
he's the loud boy cowboy. George Hogg
That's me.
Have you ever heard of Fred Thompson, George Hogg?
died of tetanus.
If you go to the Medium page right now, you'll see a picture of me when I was at my fattest, and I was George Hogg. I was so fucking fat. My God, I was fat. Go clown that photo.
right.
Andrea and I laughed in bed, so I was like, you didn't tell me shit. I told my wife, I go, you didn't tell me nothing.
I'm going to post my meme of the month after the shows in case you guys makes you guys mad.
Okay.
Anyway, what do you guys want to talk about? Ross, have you had any arguments with anybody lately?
Oh, wait, we do have a song.
Yeah.
Okay. New song for Ross, if you do
Yeah,
have.
I got, actually, do you have one? Because I got a...
What are we calling them? Ross rants? What did we say last time?
Confrontations of the week.
Yeah.
Here, let's try this and see how this works here.
What do you mean? You need to see ID. No, I won't get my wife. You'll deal with me. Ross's confrontation of the week.
That's pretty good.
That's awesome.
That's pretty good.
But we didn't actually have a confrontation, but
Man,
You don't even need one now.
the last couple of weeks, so there's just like a minor traffic incident. But here's an oldie. This one's pretty good.
I love classics.
And this, it's a couple weeks old, but it still rings true today. In line, grocery store, the line looked short because there's one lady ahead of me. All the other lines are pretty backed up. And there's one guy that's all checked out, except for, so I get in line, I get all my shit. I think I'm still in the basket at this point. The guy is like verbally accosting the cashier about the price of a cucumber.
okay.
At least he didn't super glue his hand to the Starbucks.
And like at the point I've spent so much time in the line that I started to become aware of it. He's sent the bag boy to go check the price.
I hate that.
And they have to explain to this man, this grown-ass man who has shopping at the grocery store money, that it's the price per pound and not the price per cucumber or whatever it was. And so this guy's so embarrassed that he can't just let that go. So he starts like accosting the cashier about the price of cucumbers and how the price of everything is rising. And he's putting it on her. He's putting it on her. And when he got to the point where, like, and by the way, lady right behind him is waiting. I'm behind this lady waiting. Like, there's nothing stopping us all from getting our groceries rung up except for this fucking prick and his cucumber. And so he goes, this poor girl. This poor little girl just trying to ring up groceries for fucking gas money or whatever. Maybe pay her insurance and impress her mom and dad. He goes, when you get to be my age, you'll appreciate what the cost of a cucumber is. I'm like, the fuck? Hopefully she's not an asshole. That's when I had to break in, and I was like, sir, can you just move on with your groceries? So he turned to me and he's like, what is it to you? And I was like, we're all waiting. You're holding everybody up. The whole line is waiting because you. And lady in the middle is like she's
she's like me.
She's trying to shrink into herself like a turtle.
Sometimes you get too big and it makes people uncomfortable.
She wants nothing to do with it. And the guy and I have like a good 10 seconds of back and forth. And he finally starts to fucking pay for his shit. And at that point, I was over it, so I just went and self-checked out.
Oh, I like that move.
And left the embarrassed.
Leave the mess.
Absolutely left embarrassed. But I felt it was partial win because me and the lady in front of me got out at the same time. So I would.
Were you able to?
I did save time by going to self-checkout.
But were you able to look at her and her look at you and you guys have an exchange? Because I like that too when you're looking.
Oh, no. We absolutely were avoiding eye contact like crazy.
Gotcha.
It was uncomfortable for both of us. But it was weird because I didn't know. At the end of the day, I was left wondering, did the cashier want that or not? Like, would the cashier rather just, she's going to get accosted by this asshole no matter what. It didn't stop anything. Would she just rather another guy not get involved at all?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Because, I don't know.
Ross, how do you feel about the self-checkout at the grocery store? Because I feel like someone like you would prefer doing self-checkout.
I do. I prefer it, except I'm always buying a bottle of champagne. And that's a huge pain in the ass.
That's what I said. It's like whenever you got it, there should be. We said this last week. In fact, this was my idea: is that if you know you're going to do it, I think Tom doubled down and said that there should be a way to register online, like Clear, like you do at an airport, where you're already ready to go to swipe your ID or something. Like they know you're a frequent champagne man.
Here's another ID related one for you guys. I'm trying to check out the fucking Walmart grocery store a couple of months ago. I got my bottle of champagne. Ring it up. I'm at self-checkout because that's all they fucking have.
Yeah.
You can't. There's not a cashier that works.
Maybe one cashier. Maybe.
And they're scheduled for 2 hours a week, like when nobody's there. And so it's all self-checkout at Walmart. So I ring up my fucking champagne. The guy comes over. He checks my ID, and I present my ID, and he's like, great. And he turns to my wife, and he goes, let me see yours.
Yeah, that happens sometimes.
And I was like, hold on. I'm going to drink this whole thing, homie. It's all for me. It's no big deal. And he goes, nope, she's with you. I need to see hers too. And she's like, well, I left mine at home. My husband can't buy this wine now. And he's like, no. And I'm like, what? Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, that's a thing.
I'm like, this is my wine. I'm going to drink it. And he's like, no, everybody in your party has to have a valid ID. I was like, hey, listen.
What if you had kids with you?
I was like, I come through here 6 days a week with my fucking kids and buy a bottle of champagne. You've never questioned me before about coming through with my 12-year-old. Like, what if I'm taking off and getting drunk? Maybe you should step in.
That's the thing. Yeah, I've had that happen to me and Andrea, and much like I hope you did, what I'll do is I'll go, Andrea, you can step outside, and she'll step outside, and then I'll walk back to the beginning, walk back in with my champagne, boop, and ring it up, and like, just me and my party now. God damn.
Why are they hassling you so much about ID? It seems bizarre because
this one was really weird because like I had a fucking valid ID. I'm a goddamn grown up. I can.
Yeah. You look like you're grown up too, which is what I'm saying. Not if you look
my
like a young
face. My wife's got a young face.
Your wife looks younger than
But at the point we're saying she's not drinking, it doesn't fucking matter anyway. This is all mine. Give me my fucking wine. Let me out of your goddamn hole.
Yeah. But it's like
they do that to Andrea sometimes, and you know where they do it? They do it at like the bigger stores. Like I've done before we, like I'm trying to think of like Walmart it's happened at.
I've gotten Walmart and Publix.
I've gotten Total Wine. I think it's like your larger Costco maybe, something like that. But yeah, they'll card Andrea too. And I have the same reaction. I'm like, she doesn't drink at all. There's no reason.
They're slowing down on carding me, which is a bad sign. Like they used to card me at all times. In fact, they carded me more when we were all wearing masks, which was ridiculous because I was like, "Can you tell this is me?" Like it's stupid. Anyway,
wait until your jaw clenches up and you can't fucking move your teeth.
So I like the mask though.
Back to self-checkout. So okay, let me ask you,
which was a really boring movie.
Let me ask
Back
you.
to self-checkout 2 wasn't bad, though.
This is decent porn.
Yeah.
And how bad this is, and I'm asking all of you guys, because you all have different levels of morality, right? I feel like, maybe, I don't know which, on the spectrum, Daniel's maybe highest.
I don't even know what it would depend on what we're talking about.
Yeah,
So,
I don't know.
anyway.
You're being real vague.
Yeah.
So
Across the board, yeah, I'm the best.
I've been going to the same Lowe's for a long time. As a Lowe's
Loyal.
near,
All right.
near my house. It was just closest. If it was a Home Depot, I'd go there.
Okay.
Doesn't matter.
You're a Depot man?
Over
Over Lowe's?
It doesn't. I'm not brand loyal to anything.
Okay.
I
Wow.
just
Not
go-
even our brand.
I just go to whatever's closest. Anyway.
Whoever has the best hot dogs.
So I've spent a lot of money at this place, and I preface the story by saying that I've put some money into this business.
This giant corporation,
yeah,
okay?
yeah. So
With super high employee turnover.
Yeah.
So the most disinterested employees. On the face of the earth.
exactly. So Crystal, she starts these projects, and they're super advantageous. And
Oh, wait, I know that guy.
Yeah.
That's you.
Yeah, and then I have to help her finish them at 10 o'clock at night.
Wait a minute.
Right.
That's not what she would say. She would say the exact opposite. She would say that you start the project and she has to finish it.
Now,
I don't know who to believe in this relationship.
well,
Both crazy people.
Are we talking about like the kids' homework or
No.
what kind of projects are we
There was like
talking?
a wooden chandelier at one point.
Oh, we never got an update
Yeah.
on the wooden chandelier.
It's still
not-
there.
It's not currently hanging. And what happened? To the,
no, it's there.
what happened to the butcher block table?
No, that got abandoned.
Don't bring it up. Don't bring it up.
It got abandoned.
It's in the garage.
In the woods. You could drive far enough and it couldn't find its way home. All right, little buddy. This is going to hurt you more than it hurts me. Don't turn around.
You had to take a treat and throw it into the woods and then.
So she got this idea in her head that we need a Trindle bed in Max's room because we have some.
Why? He doesn't sleep in it.
What's
Well,
a
not-
Trindle bed?
for guests
A
because
Trundle bed?
Trundle.
If this guy's Trindle's hanging out.
It's a Trundle bed.
Oh, Trundle.
Not a Trundle. A Trundle bed, right? I think it's
I don't know
Trundle.
what the hell it's called.
It's not a Trindle. A Trindle is a tentacle that hangs out of your butthole.
The Trindle of shit from Foot Fizz Way. Your hair turns into Trindles of shit.
Tendrils? Are you looking for the word tendrils now?
I think it's Trundle.
It's Trundle.
Is it Trundle?
Trundle.
I don't know the fucking name.
I
of
had
the bed.
always heard Trundle bed, and maybe I mispronounced it wrong, but I
You
always
like
heard
trundle it up under the other bed, right?
Yeah, I
Isn't
guess
that-
that I have no idea what words mean. So a Trundle bed. She wants to build this because when we staying,
She has to build it.
yeah, because when we were staying at the wizard's house, we had to sleep in his daughter's bed. It was
Just
uncomfortable.
buy one.
Well, okay. I've been yelling at my wife about her Amazon purchasing, and we got to slow
Oh,
down.
so now instead of purchasing furniture, you guys are like going to build furniture?
Jesus
Like build
Christ.
actual furniture?
And then she said she looked it up on Etsy or whatever. She
Etsy,
found,
oh my God.
She found a IKEA hack where you could build your own Trundle bed.
Trundles.
With
For how much in material?
well,
It costs twice as much as buying one.
if you bolt two IKEA like bed frame or like box frames or like
By the way, they're both out of stock at IKEA right now.
Everything's gone.
sure.
You can't get shit at IKEA.
well, she got it. She got the two.
She got them
man.
Trundle.
She got the two bed frame or the box frames that go under, and she ordered the mattress online. It was
Okay.
like a double or whatever. And then she's like, "Yeah, you just have to bolt these two things."
So yeah, we're really cutting down on the online ordering so far.
So I get home
These
like
things are-
on Wednesday or whatever,
Yeah,
and
you're
then
just
you weren't
ordering-
here Wednesday.
oh,
Your lies are coming undone.
No, it
Yeah,
was
he really
Wednesday.
is unraveling.
No, I get home because I'm still. I went to the Sanford. I'm just doing shit.
Sanford again.
He's cheating on his wife
That's
100%.
Airbnb.
He's always over there. I
His
know.
mistress at the
Yeah, I'm
Airbnb.
cleaning
He's
the
over there
cum-
licking them trundles.
Anyway, so I get home and she's like, "Oh, can you help me?
Help me bolt my trundles.
She's like, bolt this," and then we had to use our goddamn hurricane wood that we use.
Who has hurricane? Nobody's like, I'll be dipping into my hurricane wood. If storm season kicks up and we don't have that ready, it'll blow out all our goddamn windows.
Because plywood is like $50 a sheet, and we need
Yeah.
two.
You know, you guys can never move because you are quintessential
God.
Castleberry. I mean, it is so perfect.
Oh, like especially since I'm cutting the wood at 10:30 at night with a loud
Asshole.
Nothing stops my trundles.
You're the bad one.
loud smoking because I'm using the wrong goddamn. I'm using the thick blade for some other. It's not for plywood. I'm using like the goddamn stone blade or whatever.
It's supposed to cut tile.
So it's just smoking. Anyway, it's loud.
It's like a smooth blade with a diamond edge.
Even better is when there's like a Category 4 off the coast of Cocoa Beach, and you're like bolting your trundle bed to the fucking window.
Why? Why don't you
talk to Mike from Mike's weather page?
We need you need to put this stuff in the group chat so we can talk you and your wife out of it and be like, "This is the dumbest shit we've ever heard."
Because it all happens so fast. Because she's like, "I have this
You
thing."
can get a trundle bed on Amazon for $200.
Well, we spent more than that.
Yeah, of course you did.
Because she wants to not. Well, half of it is her not wanting to waste Max's bed that we already have. Like, she is insane.
But what's the trundle for other people to sleep?
Because
for guests.
In her mind, she's like, we need a better guest setup.
Okay.
So that they don't have to.
How often do you have guests over?
We never have guests.
No,
they're coming this weekend. They're coming today, actually.
You guys go there and they come there pretty often. That's a thing.
She was doing this
It's
because.
also weird that you guys just don't rent a fucking hotel or an Airbnb.
No,
I never stay with anybody at anybody's house.
Well, that's because you and I are weirdos, because the Miami people, they all live with each other when they visit.
But it's also like you always are like, don't want to get in people's way or be a bother to somebody.
Except
it's like,
for living in their home.
That's so weird.
I got Fernando today. Fernando, Porno Joe's coming, Turkey Leg,
They're all
and the
staying
Wizard.
at your house?
Everybody and their kids.
Yeah.
So that's my wife.
The way they do
That's
it.
chaos.
She wants more beds. We were just putting more. Anyway, back to the self-checkout.
Mm-hmm.
So she's like, go to Lowe's. I need these bolts, and I need these wood screws, and this glue, and some fucking whatever else. Like, she gives me a list.
I need a wood rasp,
and then
I need a Dremel.
She also sent
for
me
the accents.
She's like, I need 2 pieces of thin ass plywood, whatever.
Yep.
So I go there.
I need some bloodwood accents, and I'm going to need some.
So I go there. I don't bother with the cart or anything, and I go and I start looking for the bolts first, right?
Okay.
So I find the bolts that I need. I need 6 bolts and 6 screws and 6 washers, right?
Okay.
So
Frankenstein.
Yeah, I get
Sounds
them.
great.
I get them all, and then I'm looking for the little. First, there's no employees.
Little brown
right?
paper
No,
bag.
Employees don't.
everyone's hiring.
Employees don't exist. So I'm
No,
looking.
they were all up front having a conversation with each other.
What was a team meeting? They call it a team meeting. You mean the brown paper bag?
I'm looking for a little brown envelope that you put the screws in, right? So I'm like, where is that shit? And I think
It's at Tools Ace Hardware where they give a fuck.
Yeah. So I'm looking, and
I love Ace
They're the best.
there's no little brown bag anywhere that I can see, right? So I have nothing. I'm holding these bolts, and then I start dropping them because my hands are numb. And so
I shouldn't laugh at that.
I'm like, God damn. So then I'm like, fuck it. I put them in my back pocket. So then I go to the wood section, and then I find the wood. First, I can't find it. I call my wife. I'm FaceTiming her like a fucking dumb old man.
I see guys
Oh
do
my
that all the
God.
time, and I vowed after seeing other guys do that I will never do that, even if I need the help.
And she's yelling, "You're
I won't
walking
do
too
it.
fast!"
I won't do it.
So then,
God.
so
You're
then
making me sick.
I
I have vertigo now.
I
Does it help if I hold the pillow up while you talk to her? Yeah.
So I find the wood. I put it in the the cart. It's not the flatbed cart, but it's a cart that you put the wood in, standing up on its side.
Yeah.
It's got the slats, so you
Yeah,
put the
slat cart.
Yeah, the slat cart.
And that big weird hump in the middle for whatever reason.
Yeah, and then
For the suspension or the wheel or something.
so I put it in the slat cart. I remember the bolts, and I'm like, well, I can't put the bolts on the cart. Is just gonna rumble around and fall off. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no little.
Yeah, there's nothing to hold it.
Oh, it's happening.
Yep, Corona. There it is.
Sorry, I have this.
So I put the bolts on my mouth.
Take a sip.
Coughed up a bunch of
sorry.
rust.
Oh no, it's the tetanus
You're
coming.
looking really stiff today.
My God, yeah! Anyway, so I prefer self-checkout, right? So I go to self-checkout, and then I'm up there, and then the lady starts.
Do you have any bolts?
No, she never
Do you
asked
have
me.
any nuts or washers?
She scans the plywood. She's
They're
like,
always like really nice Latin women.
yeah. And then
at
I'm
the
like,
Home
all right.
Depot.
I swipe my credit card, or whatever, and then I start walking out. I get not even to the door, and then I realize, fuck, the bolts are in my pocket, right?
Your booty bolts.
And then I was faced with a decision. Because I didn't take I have no idea what size
I have no
bolts these
recollection
are.
of where I am.
Like I started thinking well, if I go and be like, oh, I need to pay for these bolts.
There's a lot of explaining to do.
Yeah, like you don't know they're like an F5. I got them at a drawer F5, and you're supposed to write 2X F5. Yeah, I know how to.
Ma'am, I almost stole these bolts, but I can't remember what bolts they are.
So she's going to have
to keep them because you feel sorry for them.
So I know what's going to happen. She's going to have to pull out the laminated thing and start trying to figure out what size bolts they are.
Why don't you get these? Why don't you get these?
And then Crystal's going to be fucking texting me like, where are you? We have to get this done. It's 10:30. And then I'm like, so I just stole them. I just stole them.
Good for you.
Is it fine?
Yeah,
Is it
fine. It's fine.
Yeah, I think you thought we were
fine?
gonna. I think you thought we were gonna get mad at you, but I think we're just so tired of you doing this.
I'm a 40-year-old man. I have the money. I could have easily paid for the bolts. They're like 35 cents. I stole them.
What you're
I shoplifted from Lowe's.
What you're seeing,
Castleberry Lowe's. I shoplifted.
But what you're seeing
better
is
be happy Bus isn't here. You have the goddamn cops knocking on your door.
I think the three of us
This
just
is the truth.
don't understand why you guys continue to do this, because this story does not sound like people that want to make their life easier.
No.
Like building your own furniture is hard. That's why.
And you guys have no fucking time.
No, I understand.
Especially
That's why it's 10:30 at night.
That's why we're doing it in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
What are your kids
Now,
doing?
to her defense, it came out pretty good. Like, if you saw it, you would think someone bought it.
All right.
But you also
could have just bought it.
But you also would have been astounded by the money we spent on doing it instead of just buying it.
Saved a little bit with that.
Yeah.
Sense of accomplishment.
Yeah.
Not to just gloss past that. It's not that that's what I would have done, Tom, because I would have paid for the bolts. That's 100% what I would have done in that situation. Gone back, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe go put the wood away or whatever, make it a little easier. But I'm 100% not leaving with those bolts or without paying for them.
All right.
It's just that I'm not surprised you did that.
Oh, okay.
I'm not at all startled. That is not at all surprising.
Yeah. Just based on my personality and who I am.
Yeah, of course you stole them bolts.
Have you tested it out and had people actually lay in it, the bed, to make sure it's functional?
You have to give it like a certain amount of hours before it to fluff up. They said
What?
they're like, you
the
can't.
mattress.
Yeah, because it came in a roll, and they're like, don't touch it for 48 hours, or you'll ruin it forever.
Every good mattress says that.
This is my life.
You should have just got an air mattress and call it a day. Or tell your friends to get a fucking hotel.
By the way, they better compliment me when they're after
They're not going to
I hope they walk in there like, oh, God, not a homemade Trundle. And they're mad as fuck.
I hope they walk in and they're like, that's a sick Trindle, dude.
Yeah, they call it the original name.
Now, did you do the thing that I do, I think 100% of the time when I get one of these fucking mattresses in the mail where I open it and it very clearly says how to open it safely, and I'm like, fuck that, and I just cut it, and then it punches me in the face like a goddamn trick arrow or something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because they're all coiled up like a spring, and they have a very specific way to open them, and if you don't do it, it'll just spring open and hit you like the goddamn snake in a can of nuts.
By the way, I did yell at my wife, like, she already did all the stuff, and I stumbled upon it. Like, I was like, we have
a lot of Trundles in here.
We have a mattress sponsor, Mattress Greg. We could have bought a mattress from Greg.
Yeah.
Or,
she knows him.
He has. He put the Airbnb.
She knows that
beds
guy.
in. I know. Dude,
He's running a Trundle special this week.
Free Trundles, get your free Trundles.
Greg doesn't. There's a number. I have
Call
a
him
number.
Trundle Greg.
I have his number. This is what he does. I don't know.
I need his number. I need to get one of those beds.
The Maloof, you're going to get the Maloof.
I want a
I need to
Maloof.
sleep sitting up. I got coughing crazy. Anyway,
sitting
all right, let's take a break.
Brand new music from the Black Keys. The name of the song is It Ain't Over. It's good. It's a good little tune. Enjoy this. We'll be back with more A Mediocre Time right after this. 1-844-TOMNDAN show at TomandDan.com for email.
Money and love ain't no sure thing. You live for a thrill, you die for a dream, and when it comes around.
Everybody knows White Claw.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of hard seltzers out there, and I always fall back to White Claw because their flavors are
Well,
solid.
here's something that I've been seeing happening lately, and it makes me laugh.
Yeah.
Sometimes, it's the Kleenex scenario. And what I mean by that is like, if not all seltzers are White Claws, right?
But everybody calls
Thank
a
you.
seltzer White Claw.
Thank you.
Yeah,
They just don't taste the same. So don't tell me, hey, you want a White Claw, and then hand me something else. I'm not going to name a name, but
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
the
yeah.
one I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
It tastes like chalk. I don't want that. It's garbage. If it's a White Claw, then give me the White Claw, because the one thing that we know, and all of our listeners know from the years that we've been consuming White Claw, is that they are number one with flavors. By far. You're never going to get a better tasting seltzer than White Claw.
Yep. And of course, they're constantly coming out with new flavors. Yep. The White Claw Surge, which is the higher alcohol percentage White Claw.
That's a goodie.
They've got
blue
great
can.
flavors.
Blue can. You got to look for the blue can.
And then the White Claw Surf, which the flavors... A little
more exotic.
Yeah, the flavors are more exotic, and they're stronger flavors. I like to mix some of the surf flavors with the regular traditional White Claw flavors. Like mixing and matching White Claws. I put mine over ice and drink it like a cocktail.
And he does it like he needs like a splash. Put a little lime in there, and 3 drips of lemon.
Yeah, the lemon lime, mix it together, have a White Claw Sprite, I call it.
Awesome. It's like Sierra Mist.
Yeah, and when you're drinking White Claw, put it on social media, #ClawMe.
Yeah, man.
Because we like to show them that, and supports a great sponsor.
And if you're getting your claw, snag it at ABC. You know, we weave all that stuff inside of each other. You know, this is a cohesive love fest right here.
100%. If you're going to drink a hard seltzer, White Claw.
Welcome back to A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom. Let's do some news.
All right, buddy. Let me get this. Make sure that's good. And action.
Ross's Piece of Shit News.
News brought to you by JustCallMo.com. Injured on the go, just call Mo. Mo is sponsoring everything.
Yes, he is.
If you're sponsoring everything, you got to be good.
I was just talking about his new TikToks where he has all the accidents on there.
Oh, yeah.
And I probably get all of those wrong. It's like, who was at fault? And I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah,
that's why I called you.
You should follow Mo's social media because he does a lot, and it's entertaining. It's
definitely not your average, attorney's social media account.
Sitting on the can, follow Mo's Instagram.
I like that.
I think he told me the other day that
On the shitter? That's an easy one. Twitter.
There you go.
It's very easy.
There was a BDM that got in an accident and went through the whole thing, and Mo ended up getting him away like 10 times more than he thought or something.
There is there's even an ad I think where he talks with like one of his clients, and it's like 5 to 10 times the amount that the insurance company was going to offer him. First, which is
they'll try to screw you.
That's their job.
Get Mo on your side anyway. So what do we got, Ross?
I don't know. If it's not on a billboard with your giant forehead, I don't believe it.
Like you won the lottery?
I love those.
If you're not pouring champagne in your eyes, are you a good lawyer?
I love that. Yeah. Oh man, that video is
That's my favorite video of all time.
With a leopard print rash guard on.
Yeah.
So good.
All right, we know everybody's bouncing back from Corona, right?
I don't know. I think I got it again or something. Because good Lord, whatever's in my chest.
It's just tetanus.
Sam, you got to before I could. In New York City, they're bouncing back. Also, the rats are bouncing back. They
were gone?
We got a lot of rat news. Yes, apparently last year.
Is this the rat update?
Did COVID wipe out the rats?
We just got a bunch of rat. You know what? Think about it, Sam. People like you ever read that book about the rats in New York City? I forget what Mary Roach wrote it. The same lady doing about dead people. But
I don't think so.
It's really good. But basically, the way rats work in New York City is there's all these fucking alleys. Everybody throws their food out in the alleys,
gotcha.
And the rats just eat the food in the alleys. So nobody going out to eat, nobody going out of their apartment. There was less food. There's going to be less rats. They're bouncing back.
Yeah.
Through April of this year, 7,400 rat sightings reported to the city's 311 service. That's up 6,150 during the same period last year.
Wow.
So,
who reports that?
Yeah. You call 311 if you see a rat?
I saw a rat.
And even still, it's up about 60% from the first 4 months of 2019, the last year before COVID. So they're bouncing back hard.
Yeah, man. A lot of...
and especially in New York City, imagine the amount of rats it takes for them to call in. You're not seeing...
haven't they made they talk about, like, people that I know that are from New York will talk about, like, hey, they always have that story. They're like, or no, it's usually like, hey, this one time, man, I opened this door and we looked in the cellar and, man, there must have been, like, 20,000 rats. And it's like always some number that I'm like, yeah, right. But maybe they're right. Like maybe it is.
Talk about giant sewer rats.
Yeah.
I can tell you from experience, when there's a lot of rats, it is a startling amount of rats. When they are allowed to just run free, you can get an amount of rats.
Like a surprising amount.
Like the floor is rats amount of rats.
Yeah. I played that game as a child.
It's not that hard to achieve.
So you would think that through like a large poisoning event, they could probably wipe out, or maybe that would poison
rats
other
are
things?
so smart. They do things in waves. So like if you see a rat, it's the first rat of the night. And that's the one that is like going out and testing things. And you'll get the first 3 waves of rats with poison. And then a couple rats will eat those rats. Maybe those rats die. But there's 20 more rats at the house just waiting for the guards to come back or whatever that will never even encounter the poison if there's poison.
So are they doing like this is a serious question. Are they doing like an actual
gathering
cycle of what do you call that? Like scouting?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they go out, they
foraging?
bring back. There's rat cased where they bring food back to the nest and stuff. Yeah, they're complex.
So it's almost like by design, the first 3 that go out to forage might perish, but their system is in place to find the food.
Correct. They're the scouts.
Interesting.
They got scouts. Yep.
So it's just a numbers game for the rats. They have never-ending numbers, so they just overwhelm anything. It's like that video game you see they market to you on Facebook where the zombies are running and you build the machine guns.
It's never as good. The videos
and you're like, there's too many.
The videos that they use to get you to buy those apps are never. It's never the game. And most of them have some big titty lady in there. That's why I clicked on it, and I'm like, I'll play this if you get to see the big titty lady. And then I click on it, and then the game is completely different, and I'm like, what the fuck?
You never get her up to level 50.
No, never.
You're like, what is this?
Yeah.
It's all just clickbait or whatever.
But rats do form a giant ball that will roll at you that you need to shoot the water at. That is true. That will happen.
So now, like, is it back to where the numbers were before?
More,
or is it more?
60% more, Tom.
God
the rats
damn.
are back and they're at it. More rat news. Did I tell you guys the story about the dollar store by me that was full of rats?
No.
Okay.
Do I need to get a new song for that too?
I didn't tell you guys the story. They shut down the dollar store by me. And it was shut down for like a month, and they just put like a handwritten sign up in the window that said like dollar store shut down until further notice for cleaning maybe or something. But you look in the window, nobody was cleaning that thing. Nobody ever cleaned that fucking dollar store in a million goddamn years.
It's a dollar store.
That carpet was crusted with the dirt of a million fucking scum feet. It's
scum feet.
One day,
write that down. That's great.
One day on Orlando Reddit, somebody was like, "What's up with that dollar store on Michigan Street?"
The scum feet one.
And a bunch of people chimed in and were like, "I heard it was infested with rats." I heard a bunch of people were chiming in saying that, and then one guy posted and said, I heard that a bunch of people were shopping there one day and the ceiling collapsed and a flood of rats filled it.
Oh my God! Rats fell out of the you're already shopping at the dollar store, so you know things haven't been going that well.
So
and then you're looking, and then you're like, what is that? And then a fucking avalanche of rats fall down.
It's like you lead in to get that. What was it that we found out one time at the dollar store? It was like steak, right?
Yeah.
Like and you lead in there and you're like, wow, it's come to this. And you lead in and you grab a package of fillets and you're like, not that bad. And then it comes for you. It just falls
they
out
also
of the
have
sky.
fish sometimes. I'm like, fish at the dollar store. Yeah. But anyway, that was the rumor for a long time in my neck of the woods. And now we have a breaking news story. Arkansas is suing Family Dollar. They went to there was some sort of report. Somebody called in a tip. And they went to investigate.
Oh my God, 311.
They went to investigate this distribution facility, I think in Little Rock, Arkansas. They found more than 1,000 rodents inside. They found live rodents, dead rodents in various states of decay, rodent feces, dead birds, and bird droppings.
God damn.
And one trundle bell. Weird.
And a lawsuit filed by the Attorney General. They say the misconduct by Family Dollar stores and Dollar Tree allowed them to maximize profits while causing Arkansas citizens to purchase hazardous, adulterated, and contaminated products. So they knew their shit was full of rats. They just kept trucking it out to dollar stores and selling it to you fucking fools. Every time you took your kid to the dollar store and said, here's $5 to go crazy, they were buying tainted fucking candy and toys.
Well, to dollar store's defense.
All right.
It seems like
Tom Van Attorney.
Well,
the dollar store defender.
It doesn't seem like the CEO or COO of Dollar Store was informed, but to this particular location franchise that there's a rat problem, and he's like, don't say anything. You know what I'm saying? I would imagine they would say you have because it's a franchise, right?
I
Family Dollar? I think so.
I don't know. I think so.
This is a distribution facility, Tom. This is
like a warehouse.
So this is a source.
This is sending all the shit out
Gotcha.
to all
That
the
changes
stores.
things.
Yeah.
Can't defend that one.
Yeah, but it's also possible because, like, I hear all the stories about, like, 3 people died in an Amazon warehouse and no one knew about it for 100 years. You read these stories about, like, they're forced to die on the line packaging the boxes. I'm like, all right, well, if that's happening, rats at Dollar General totally on brand. Like, it's okay.
Yeah, I see it because the employees have been telling their bosses for years, like, there's rats everywhere. Like, you have to do something because the employees.
Well, kill them, you idiots! Get a broom and beat their heads in.
Because the employees are probably like, this job sucks.
Well, the employees are rats.
I hate this company, and they probably have been complaining about the rats and then them not doing anything. And you think, like, how hard? Well, Ross, like.
Very difficult.
Exterminate.
Very difficult.
A rat infestation. I mean, it's not impossible. Burn pest control can get in there. And
burn them up.
Get them done.
Luke, the guy that did
Get them done. That's
You're not allowed to say that. You're not allowed to say that.
I said get him done. And I didn't say get her done.
We're gonna play that game.
I don't know that Joe does rats. Does Joe do rats?
Yeah.
He does all the
rodents.
rats.
Yeah.
Okay. It was before Joe when I had mine done. It was the guy Luke that helped me out, and his thing was exclusion. The first thing you do is, like, shut off all the ways they can get in. So, like, that's that. You just keep them from getting in, and then you kill whatever's left inside the perimeter. Like in our house, we had the one that would come in, so we shut off all the holes, and then there was, like, one stuck in the attic. I think we put a trap out for that, and once we killed that, we were done.
Yeah, I had them in my bungalow real bad.
But, like, in that situation, the only real way to get rid of them is shut off the food source. You got to, like, stop putting out dried Cheerios and letting the fucking rats eat it. Like, it's...
Oh, well, the whole factory or the warehouse is filled with
dried Cheerios.
$1 steaks.
And at some point, somebody got lazy about, like, where they put the fucking Cheerios or the steaks or whatever, and the rats got in, and they made a nest, and now they're eating it. You gotta cut that fucking food off, or they're gonna keep making rats.
God, it makes me think of, like, Kitchen Nightmares, where they go back there, they made some steaks the night before, they just put them on a plate and set them in the closet.
Because I'm telling you, we had one night when Rat House is in full swing.
I love that shit.
I sat on the back porch, and I had a case of beer, and I had all my shit set up, all my guns, my BBs, and the neighbor's palm tree. We'd see him run back and forth in the vines, and I sat there and blinked rats for a case of beer. And I made my wife count for a while, and at like 24, she's like, "I'm not counting anymore." And that was like 6 or 8 beers in, and I finished the case of beer and just shot rats all night. And I would shoot them, they'd fall to the ground, a bunch of rats would come up and eat that dead rat, and then more rats.
It's like a video game.
More rats would just run back and forth in the vines.
Ross invented an actual analog video game.
But I'm curious to, like, is the reason expense why they didn't call it exterminator and get the rat problem fixed? Because, like, I understand, in hoarder houses, like when the TV show finally comes in, and you're like, oh my god, it's so
I like
bad.
it when they have, like, they interview a firefighter that's not really on the team, and he's like, when I was in there, it took my breath away. It just smelled like straight ammonia.
And then
I love that.
When the old crazy lady comes shaking out, you're like,
you got to take away my stuffed animals.
I feel bad for her because I'm like, well,
they're my friends.
At this point, you let it get so bad that it's completely overwhelming. Like, she could not do it herself.
My children abandoned me, and this is all I have.
And the cost to hire a company would have been tens of thousands of dollars because there's so much poo-poo everywhere, and, like, it's so horrible. I'm like, this lady can't afford it. She's poor.
That's the best part, is that even though they clean those hardwood floors, at the end of the episode where they show you the after pictures, you can still see poo-poo.
But, like,
a little bit of poo.
Yeah.
So say you call, like, we need to text Joe Byrne and ask, like, what do you think it would cost for, like,
what do you think of Trundle beds, Joe?
To burn pest control to come into the Dollar General warehouse.
How much?
And then, like, get rid of the rat problem. Like, is it $20,000? Is it $5,000? Is it $1,500?
Well, it's gonna be a lot.
A distribution center is how many thousands of square foot?
Because just going around my house and plugging up all the holes, everything bigger than a quarter. Anything
that's a lot
quarter
of work.
size or bigger on a fucking warehouse. Think of all the little areas, and you got to, like, and it's not just like slapping a piece of duct tape on it. You got to, like, really, because they got sharp little teeth. They'll go through steel wire. You really got to plug up these holes, and then the matter of destroying all the ones inside.
And then
of there,
there's
that's a whole
like-
nother-
So it could be tens of thousands. That's why they didn't for expense. Like, I'm wondering, like, is it expense or is it pure laziness or they didn't give a fuck? Like, I'm wondering why. They
I
didn't
would,
fix it.
if it was me, I would shut the fucker down and clear everything out of it and just let them die off. Give it like 6-8 months and let all the rat problem just go the fuck away.
So that's why they probably didn't want to do it, because the
They need that
overwhelm-
money.
Yeah.
the expense, because, I'm imagining some manager looking the other way because he's like, fuck it, they all have right. Like,
And again, I'm coming at this like a fucking idiot. Like I'm saying the right way to do it. The way they would do it would be to put about a bunch of poison, and like all the rats would just die inside the fucking warehouse, and so you'd just be loading your goddamn
100%.
dollar store potato stick truck, up, and just you'd be smelling rats.
It
all
didn't come in
goddamn
close
day.
contact
God.
because there's margins.
Yeah.
They're going to have like rules like, well,
Yeah.
was it in the same room? Well, it was close. I mean, that's fine.
But the
Yeah,
rats,
yeah,
they
but-
just
yeah.
die wherever they're at. They don't do like that cool cat thing where they go find a spot outside in the yard. To
Yeah,
die
oh,
away
yeah,
from-
yeah.
They'll die in the fucking wall and
Yeah,
just
yeah.
stink for weeks.
Yeah, they're also tough as shit.
yeah.
Man, that one, I had one live for like 14 days, and I chopped his head with one of those fucking.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that?
That thing in your attic. Yeah.
I had one in my attic that we didn't nail the trap down. So when it was one of those new, it's a plastic trap. And you put the peanut butter on the top. It's called the claw. And when it went through it tried. Normally it severs their, I guess, carotid artery or whatever and kills them. Or I don't even know if rats have that. I don't know with rat anatomy. But anyway, it chops its head off. And this thing got caught, but it didn't get him, and he's just laying there, and he fell behind my closet, and he lived for like 2 weeks. He's like banging his head, and goes, "I'll get you, motherfucker." He'd bang his head against there, he's like, "If I can get out of here, you fucking midget, I'm going to eat you." You could feel it. You could feel the anger, man. And then one day, it's quiet. And that's when our
other
pest
rats
control,
eat it.
no, our pest control guy said, well, now that it's quiet, I got to get over there and get him out of there. It's going to stink like shit.
Yeah.
And it did. He got over there, and when he pulled him out, it was just his head and then a spine, because the other rats had crawled down in there and eaten him.
Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah.
Nuts.
What do you got next, Ross?
All right, let's stay on animal news. You've heard the phrase "fox in the hen house."
Yeah.
I don't know what that means, though.
I mean, you got a hen house.
And you got like a fox in there.
Fox gets in.
He's eating them good.
It's gonna eat them good, right?
He's eating them good.
So the Smithsonian National Zoo in D.C. They used to have a bunch of flamingos. A fox got in the flamingo habitat. Out of 74 flamingos, what kind of damage do you think a fox can do
But
overnight?
foxes are.
It seems like a flamingo's big as shit.
I
Like,
know,
but
factor that in.
Isn't a fox like a low key killing machine? Like, I think a fox is made for. I mean, pound for pound, I'm going to say a fox is up there with ant on, like, I can fuck some shit up. You never hear anything really good about a fox other than they trick you into, like, getting on their head, and as they're carrying you across the river, they eat you. Gingerbread man.
Sam, probably just for you. You remember the fox god on the Magicians? Pretty good dude. Pretty good dude.
Yeah.
What does the fox say? Whatever that burned hot,
There's that.
2014.
I assume that a fox, just like kind of an alligator or other like predatory animals, like
A fox is a dickhead dog.
will only go after prey.
They're so
that's
cute, though.
I put more of
smaller.
a cat. When you see more as a cat.
Like most predatory animals go after prey that's smaller than them, so it doesn't hurt them because that's their biggest fear is they get injured out in the wild.
Fox is clever.
Yeah,
And a fox is pretty small.
yeah, that's what I said. Like compared to a flamingo,
It's not like a wolf.
No,
you know what I mean?
I think they're like this. I think, what is that? I think they're.
it's like a big ass cat.
I think it's bigger than we think.
I've never even seen a fox.
I've only
wild.
seen a fox wild one time, and it was like up north in the Carolinas.
Okay, and don't forget, down here in Florida, like, you got the island effect. Even though we're a peninsula, animals get smaller on an island. So that's why we got, like, key deer and, like, tiny little animals. Yeah.
Like, I've seen those mule deer in Colorado are big as like I was like, what the hell is that? Like,
Dude, Pennsylvania. I
five
grew up-
times the size of a goddamn small Florida deer.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's like a moose.
I'm going. It killed a dozen flamingos.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what do you got?
You know, I
Out of
just
74.
for the sake of it, I just want to say he got them all, and he was rubbing his tummy. He's just rubbing.
How did you 74 flamingos?
Yeah, I want to say he ate them all, and he's just laying back and rubbing his tummy, fat as fuck.
How long was he in the enclosure?
I think he had all night. I don't think they. I think he had all night. Yeah.
Lionel Richie dancing on the ceiling.
What did you say, Tom?
Let's see.
I said a dozen.
Okay. Oh, actually, last check on Sunday, 2:30 p.m. Everything was fine, and then I guess Monday morning they found what was left.
So he had from 2:30 Sunday afternoon.
That's a long time.
That's
okay.
a lot of flamingo
But a
munching.
fox is small, so how many flamingos could he eat? I'm going to go 30.
It's kind of like that battle simulator you can get online. One fox for 74
Oh,
flamingos.
I love that one on Steam. That thing's awesome.
This motherfucker got in there, took out 25 American flamingos
I was closest.
and a duck.
That's extra points.
Yeah, it's
That's extra
fattier
point.
meat.
And you know what? You didn't need to do that. I feel like flamingo's a fair fight, but that duck, he's defenseless. He just lay there, I'm a duck, and bam.
Like
Dead.
you would think that the flamingos will be kick crazy.
Yeah.
And the beak, they got a long beak, man.
Way up high, too. It's coming from way up on high.
And like they could fly a lot.
God
Well,
damn.
flamingos
They
can fly a lot.
Yeah,
right?
but not these flamingos.
Well, in captivity, yeah. But they could, even like my mother-in-law's parents, they got their wings clipped.
But that fuck you up.
But they could fly for a little bit and then fly to the ground. You know what I'm saying? They can maintain
They're like Charles Barkley.
elevation.
They're like a little bit of a sprint, and then
yeah. So I'm surprised they couldn't just get away.
I feel like we have all been conditioned to believe that flamingos are tougher. We're giving them a lot of credit. I see them at an animal kingdom. They are larger than we think, right? And I think we're all right. We'd like to think that these things are going to be stomping and beaking this fox, but nah, man. I think foxes are bigger than we think and more aggressive.
Bart Merrick tells a story, Ross, you probably heard this, when he was a kid and he grew up in Sarasota and
His best friend was a flamingo.
No,
I remember that story.
He has a story about a big ass egret that was by his house that some tiny a kitten, like a little bigger than a kitten, was like doing that thing where it was like stalking it, and the egret was just sitting there by a lake or whatever, and the kitten was like stalking it, and it fucking turned, saw the kitten, stabbed it like through its body with his egret beak, right? Killed it and then ate it. A fucking
Why would you tell me
Why?
this?
Jesus Christ.
And
that's why I'm fucking Bart Merrick, motherfucker.
Well, that's why he has that tattoo. No egrets.
My point being that wild birds are fucking tough motherfuckers. Right?
Yeah.
Like an egret will stab a goddamn kitten. You would think that a flamingo
It's a dinosaur, dude.
can at least hold its own a little bit against a fox, but apparently not.
When we got our little dog Shadow, when she was a little puppy, we took her down to the beach in Tampa where you can go off leash, with your dog.
Yeah.
And
Off
Shadow,
leash only.
Yeah.
Don't give him any credit.
So Shadow, she was chilling on the dog beach for a minute, and then there's a big sign that says, "Do not run down here if you're a dog." Shadow ran right past that fucking sign. There's a goddamn big pelican. Like, it leads up to kind of the dock, and right next to the dock, there's a pelican just chilling on the beach. And Shadow's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go get me a pelican." She ran up, came up on this pelican. Pelican saw her come from a mile away, and just like waddled out into the water. And like Shadow like got right behind her, and the pelican's just steaming out there. And I'm like, "You fucking idiot! This bird's luring you out to sea so it can just beak you to death in the goddamn water."
Get on my territory, my turf. Yeah,
drowned you.
Clear. It was clear as day. It was because I had to run and fucking drag her out of the goddamn
I like
water.
that you're sitting there witnessing. You're like, he's a genius.
I was
I'm a
about to
savior.
watch it. Yeah.
So when a fox
Murders 24 flamingos and one duck.
Yeah.
That's pretty damn good, right? Is that better than you guys? I mean, you guys are obviously closer than my.
I picked 30, so I was
but-
5 over.
Yeah, is that more than you would have thought?
It was more than I thought was possible for one fox to do. Maybe a group of foxes.
What's a group?
But he had a lot of time.
Yeah. I guess you're right. And then does he eat them?
Yeah,
at all?
the real question
or
is
just
why?
kill them for fun?
If you're a fox, you've killed one flamingo. Either eat it and get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
Why continue the spree?
Isn't that that's in him, right? Like, isn't the fox engineered to just like he sees those things and he's like, no matter what, I have to kill as many of these before they stop me. That is my purpose on Earth. Is that right?
Maybe he just hates pink.
And did he start storing
A group
them?
of foxes is called a skulk.
A skulk?
I know you were about to ask.
SKUNK?
LK.
Skulk. I like that.
Just it seemed weird that it's kind of like a cat or like a dog will bring you a bird that's killed or whatever. Like it kills shit for fun. The cats do it, right?
Right.
Lizard. They'll kill stuff and
Everything.
everything, and not really eat it, but just as entertainment for themselves. Interesting.
Could be, yeah.
That's a crazy ass story. I wonder what that cost. Probably a lot, right? I always feel really bad when these places have they're like, hey, we have the 2 final white rhinos, and then sadly one of them got a toothache and died. I'm like, oh my god.
I think flamingos aren't endangered at all, right? There's tons of them out there.
Probably a bunch of them, but it's got a sting. I remember every 5 years, some drunk guy goes and kicks a swan at Lake Eola.
Right.
That's always a knock to our civic pride when that happens.
Yeah. And flamingos seem fancier than they are just because of how we use them in society as decoration or whatever. We look at this flamingo, plastic statue.
Serious flamingo coloration question. I'm surprised that we haven't figured out a way to feed them something other than shrimp to change their color naturally.
Yeah.
Is that a thing?
You would think that some zoo, or maybe not in America, but somewhere in Mexico.
Russian zoo. Come on.
Dude,
they fly donkeys.
In Mexico, they were painting donkeys like zebras with spray paint.
Yeah.
And then saying, hey, you want to take a picture next to a zebra? And it was obviously a donkey.
They paint cockatoos. They paint their cheeks to make them brighter. And
chicks, little...
they dye them. They do it with dogs, too. They spray paint dogs to their hair.
So for sure, they'd feed flamingos some blue shit.
See,
and then turn them blue.
You're on the track with the painted donkey, Tom, because if you did have a blue flamingo, it wouldn't be a fucking flamingo. Flamingos are pink. Everybody knows that.
No, okay, so they'd be like, what the hell? Okay.
I don't even know this for a fact, but I'm just going to state it as a fact. There's 100% white flamingos out there. There's flamingos in the world that don't eat that goddamn krill or whatever that turns to pink.
Sure.
They're not flamingos, though. That's just a big goddamn white bird flying by. It's not until you see a pink flamingo standing on one leg that you're like, that's a flamingo.
The stereotype.
You're conditioned to what a flamingo is. So, if you are going to be a place that has flamingos, you're going to make them pink because that's what the people want.
I mean, you feel that, too. When you're at Animal Kingdom, and Sam will probably back this up, when you drive through...
You see that skulk of flamingos.
But they're also not always pink because they're not always being fed shrimp. And then some dum-dum on the boat will be like, boo.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they'll be like, oh, these ain't flamingos.
Yeah.
Birds aren't real.
Not managing his expectations.
That's a flamboyance of flamingos. That's for real.
Skull
can you have a
flamboyance in the morning?
Flamingo as a pet? I've never seen that either.
I don't think so.
I know, there's a neighborhood within a block of me that has a shitload of peacocks.
Peacock people, and they're loud as fuck.
They're so loud.
It's illegal to own them as a pet. Flamingos.
Oh, who says?
They are protected by the law.
Yeah, but so
what law?
tigers and people own shit like tigers.
You don't like to tell me I can own a tiger, but I can't own a flamingo. That seems fucked up to me.
Yeah.
You tell me I can go fight in war, but
exactly. 18 years of age, I can get a gun and fight for this country, but I can't drink an ice cold burn.
All right, next story.
All right, we're staying with animal news. We got a name of this guy up in Alaska. This guy from St. Augustine, Florida, in the Army, up in Alaska, doing a training mission on a base. Training on base. I think I read they were scouting for a place to do some training, and what they're describing, they're saying that this guy, what he saw was a flash of brown mass. This guy did not even see it coming. Brown bear popped up out of the woods on the Army base and just straight up ate this guy. And then took off.
Ooh, that's terrifying, dude.
Yeah.
Bear attack, lion attack. Those videos where you can hear the guy saying, "Leave him alone and let him eat me." That kind of shit. Fuck, I fuck it all.
Staff Sergeant Seth Michael Plant, 30, again from St. Augustine, Florida, on base in Alaska. Bear killed.
You would think that they would all have some sort of bear mace at all times, just because at Alaska, I think it's a problem that you legitimately have to worry about.
With bears, real bears, not the
grizzlies.
bears not our bears.
I know
they have not released what protective gear he may have had with him, including whether they had the commonly available chemical pepper spray used to stop a charging bear. But I don't know if he had body cam footage or what. But they're saying part of the announcement was this guy had no time to react. All he saw was a flash of brown, and then he was down and done.
Yeah, I mean, if you see some of the videos of people that survived grizzly bear attacks, when they charge at you, it is frighteningly fast.
Yeah, they're quick.
They're quick. They're
Killing
running.
machine.
20 miles an hour, like some,
like a vehicle.
And then the people are always caught off guard, and then they'll do that move. Like you seen the "Shouldn't Be Alive" with the bear attack from like some hunter that the bear was like gnawing on his head.
Well, you try to put your hands up first, right, and then it just bites through your hands into your head.
But he lived, but it like scalped him and like crunched his bones, and like he was fucked up from it. But it's like he describes the incident, and it is terrifying because it's just like an animal that is so big and strong that there's no chance of fighting it, just slowly killing you, and you have there's no recourse except for hoping that it just gets bored and wanders away. That's it. It's like there's no poking its eyes.
You're outmatched.
Like I would rather be attacked by a great white shark than a grizzly bear because I feel like the great white shark, at least I could poke its eyes and it would freak out.
Yeah, but you're still swimming, and swimming's harder than standing.
True, but I feel like a bear truly will never be scared away by anything I could do to it. No. Right? Like I couldn't, like a great white shark, maybe I could jab its eyes.
Can I throw another one in there that I dislike is alligator, because I don't want to be pulled into the water and then you go low and then you start spinning me and getting me. I saw a video on Ari Shafir's Instagram this morning of a alligator biting a dog and pulling it in the water. Oh. And I swear to God, I had to recollect myself this morning. I was like, that is terrifying.
There was a death roll video that was going around the internet like last week, just at like a goddamn Gatorland or something, and it is terrifying.
No, sir.
Was it the lady at the birthday party? We played that one where she got in the enclosure and it started spinning her. She was remarkably calm.
Oh, yeah, she was very calm. Yeah, she was
like that pilot that landed that plane, or that guy, that civilian that landed that plane.
Yeah, that's fake.
Although with the gator bite, I'm like, that's real. It's biting her.
I can see it.
So I wonder how often, are bear attacks more prevalent than gator attacks, right?
Probably in Alaska.
I would think so, yes.
Like, there are more bear attacks in Alaska than alligator attacks in Florida.
I think I would agree with that. We don't. Gator attacks are
super rare.
Super rare. Shark attacks are still super rare.
Because gator attacks are kind of daytime dependent, right? It's either at dusk or dawn. It's going to be at that time of day, or they're not going to fuck with you, basically.
You also have to be close to the edge of water. Right. You know, it's not like you're just flopping around out there and they come poking at you. They like you on ground so they can I'm just going to drag you into this mud and roll you around a little bit.
Whereas this guy obviously demonstrates you could just be walking along a trail and be maybe a little too close to mama bear's cub.
Right.
Done.
You may not even know it.
You didn't know it. Yeah.
It's weird because I understand how people are nervous about alligators, because I'm not nervous about alligators at all from growing up in Florida.
No, they don't scare me, but when I see the attacks, I'm like, holy shit, that thing can kill.
It's crazy, but it's like I'll swim in any body of water. I've done it for my whole life.
Yeah, we canoe next to them, showing them to Maisie.
We were letting our kids swim in Peace River. And people were like, there's a giant 12-foot alligator. I'm like,
we can throw a football to it.
Yeah, you see, I'm like, oh, look out, it's fine. If it gets near, I'll shoot away. But when we go to Colorado or whatever, we'll go hiking or in trails, we'll be by ourselves, and because I'm not familiar with grizzly bears, I have a little irrational fear of a bear charging out of the woods.
When I was hiking in the mountains,
and I don't think there's any reason. I think it's irrational.
Mace, though.
Have any of you three seen an animal that you had to freeze? Have you ever had an instance where I've only had one, and it's a pit bull dog that was gonna bite me? But other than that, I have never been in an instance where I had to freeze because there was some sort of bear or alligator or
snake.
Rattlesnakes.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Giant dangerous animal I've ever seen, I've gone towards it to fuck with it. I'm serious. I'm like, oh shit! Look at that! Let's
go sit on this bear.
I want to take a picture of it or fuck with it in some way because it's amazing. I'm like, oh. Anyway. Let's try to catch it. I've caught gators before, exactly what you shouldn't do. Anyway.
I'm much more afraid of people in the street, to be honest with you.
I freeze.
Well, that's how you die.
Anything in the woods.
It's the humans that kill you.
Yes.
What else you got?
Okay. Okay, Dan, this is for you.
Yes.
Imagine you're on a flight. Imagine you're on a flight.
No.
Imagine you're about to take off from Israel. You're headed to Turkey. The captain made a decision to scrap the flight after... I never really understood this, Dan, but you know AirDrop on your iPhone?
I do know AirDrop on my iPhone,
So there's 160 people on this plane. I'm going to say about half of them, right before takeoff, in AirDrop, get sent pictures of an airplane crash. So you're sitting there, You're getting ready to
I would
take off.
shit my pants if
You
somebody
got you.
airdropped me because that's the killer.
You're on the
That's
plane.
the fucking killer.
You're on the plane. You're about to take off.
sir.
You see whatever little notification pops up.
Can you see that? That's goosebumps.
Don't they need your?
No.
I don't understand
phone
how it works
number?
either.
No,
Dan can answer these questions.
sometimes if you leave your thing open, like like I've had people, I'll be sitting in an auditorium or something. If you have, I guess, the security settings on your iPhone a different way, trust me, I'm just as dumb old man as anybody else here because it's coming to get me. But there will be times when it'll be like, Sophia is trying to send you pictures, and I'm like, no, she's not, and I'll just click it out. But people
really?
can still airdrop you. They can get to you. You have to opt in.
Yeah, all these pictures were shared by airdrop. Pictures included images of a Turkish Airlines plane which crashed in 2009 and another plane crashed in the United States in 2013.
So did they? Because I saw some video of a guy.
You can find out who it is. I mean, but
they can trace it back?
I think they can. Yeah.
Did you see the video of the guy trying to get off the plane before it took off? Like it already had taxied down the runway.
I've always wanted to do that. Like
Well,
I've
you had a
always
freak
thought,
out.
what if I have a freak out and I have to have them because they won't open the door.
No, they wouldn't let him off.
They will not let you off.
And then
I'm like, they're going to kill me. They're going to have to kill me.
But
Strap you down.
Because I'm going to have to kill them.
Well-
right? Like it's going to be a fight for life.
That's why I always worried about getting like too drunk and flying. I don't want to get too drunk and be like,
I get too.
Well, what
I
are
get
they gonna do?
quiet.
You're just freak out?
I would just start crying if I were too drunk. I just, but like if I don't know, like it's
So in the video, I think the guy, like, they eventually had to go back, but they pressed charges again, like for interfering with the flight or something. because just being scared is not an excuse for them to like turn around or whatever.
No.
So
I wish it was.
He got in trouble, but if you were like, get me out of here, like.
I don't think you have any recourse. I think they just say, sir, you bought a ticket. You're on here.
Yeah.
You knew what you were getting into. We can sit here calmly. We can talk to you, but you're going to have to keep your seat or the air marshals will shoot you with rubber bullets.
or if you forget enough, they probably have a shot, right? They probably have something in a hypodermic needle they can jam in your shoulder and just put you down for 12 hours.
Remember they strapped that one guy down with duct tape.
Yeah,
they are
got
not above strapping you down to a chair.
They got handcuffs on there somewhere and stuff like that. Now that's if you're flying, but I'm saying if you're still on the ground,
right.
If they have to turn around and let you back off.
I feel like they should be a rule where they're like, all right, this guy's shitting his pants and acting like a fool. Get the fuck off. And then you like, let him off. All right, shut the door. All right, we're good.
I bet if you like try to break a window, they put you right off.
No, yeah, but they arrest you.
You pick up a car.
I think they rubber bullet you. I think that's rubber bullets.
So what happened with these people? Did they take off and
they evacuated the plane?
Oh my god!
They searched it. They didn't find shit, and they let them back on the plane. Plane took off.
I'm not going on that plane.
yeah.
I'm sorry. You're putting me on. I don't care how you searched it. This plane has to be decommissioned. This plane is done. This plane can never fly again because there was a chance there was a bomb on it. You morons! You can't just fucking clean. Oh, I walked down the aisles. No bombs. We're good.
Yeah.
Fuck that shit. It's the same thing when I've been on a flight before when we were getting an engine repaired. And they're like, oh, we're waiting on the part. I'm like, no, thank you. No. No.
Yeah, because I would be like, who searched
I'm going to
it?
fuck myself up if I keep...
like, did you just get the guys? Like, who did it? Like a professional or like some cop that doesn't like, oh, God.
I'm not...
He's
No.
like looking around like, yeah, it's fine.
Like, get a different plane.
Because I would, if I was searching it, I'd be like, most likely it's a prank or some sort of misunderstanding. Like, it's fine.
Do you hear about those flamingos? It's crazy.
If you can track it back to the phone, I don't know why they didn't like.
You can.
This plane should not be usable until you find that fucking phone.
I mean,
right?
unless they don't have, like, normal technology. But, yeah, you should be able to trace it.
Is it just like a guy fucking with his buddy? Like I would fuck with Daniel, like right before we take off. Like here's a plane crash to look at.
I mean, here's how I know. They're going to have a record of the photos, right? Like, so everybody's got the photos. Those photos have a device ID attached to them from that person's phone, especially if it's an iPhone. That's how we were able to track things maybe 12 years ago. Mm-hmm. There's a device ID on everybody's iPhone that's completely traceable.
Especially, you got to imagine you're using the airport Wi-Fi or cell service, like in a post 9/11 world, like. Where somebody might call from a fucking airport and
you
be
just
like,
go to T-Mobile.
Make a threat from an airport. You don't want to be able to track that person down immediately?
Yeah, it's Turkey. Or is it Turkey?
Well, they were going to Turkey.
Yeah, it was Israel.
Oh, Israel. Like, I don't know.
This happened in Orlando.
Oh, did?
Yeah, well, not this
Israel,
case,
Orlando.
But, it says that it happened last March at OIA after a 10-year-old boy airdropped a threat to several other passengers.
Just a bored kid in the fucking.
See what
Yeah,
you
just
do.
fucking around.
What you do is you like. I guess what I would do is I would find the most gruesome photo of.
it was earlier this year.
A plane exploding, and then I go to AirDrop, and if you like right now, if I go to my AirDrop,
And does it give you like a list of available devices?
yeah,
like a
it'll give you a
Bluetooth or something
list.
like
I'm going
that?
to my AirDrop now. I got a picture of, let's see, I got a picture of my daughter naked here, and I'm going to go ahead and no, I'm kidding. And but you just go to AirDrop, and then yes,
Just got to tell you, for Android users, we have no idea what AirDrop is, so we're all just Googling it in the chat.
excuse us.
No, excuse us. We didn't know what the hell it was. We're like, what the hell's an AirDrop?
It's like herpes for phones.
Yeah,
That's
sort of.
terrible. Why would you want that as an option?
Well, it's a way to you can send files quickly between
but
devices.
you can't stop it from happening to your phone?
Well, you have to opt in, right? So
You have to opt in.
Right,
Okay.
yeah. So I would put the photo on there. Let's say I have a photo of a plane crash, and then I go look at all the devices, and I just click them all, and it's up to them to hit OK, and then the file is transferred.
I understand how you feel, because when Native Americans saw muskets for the first time, they were also confused by the current day technology that we have as human beings.
What a reference.
Yeah, I enjoy
Where's
it.
my buzzer? It comes in tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah.
Does it say
I'm
Dumb Old
excited.
Man on it? Is it
has
custom?
lights
I'm making
sound.
fun of Android.
Does it? Does
Yeah,
it-
we know.
Does it have custom lights and sounds?
It says it does.
Are we going to wire it into the board?
What?
Can.
You got another one, Ross?
Oh, I saw a Home Jeopardy set up the other day. I almost bought like buzzers for Jeopardy.
No shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have those. They have Family Feud. Yeah.
That's cool.
We got two. That's new tech. Two techs going away. Dan, Apple, no more iPods, and I don't know. This is probably more interesting to you. EA Sports is no longer doing a FIFA soccer game.
Really?
They're,
Wait, really?
The licensing for FIFA branded football game for them is just too fucking much.
No
I think.
shit.
That's
I thought that was their big boy.
So
I
FIFA
thought FIFA was their moneymaker, right?
It is and it was, but FIFA wants so fucking much money for that license now.
It's super
They
corrupt,
want
too.
so much money
Yeah.
for that license. It's not worth it. EA is going to now make, starting in 2023, EA Sports FC. An unbranded, unlicensed.
That's not gonna go
EA.
well.
It's the same. It's gonna be the same goddamn game, Dan.
Yeah, but people love to have the real players and the real names and the real logos.
You're not gonna have any of those. You're not gonna
Yeah.
have Fly Emirates on the jersey.
This
None of
isn't
that
gonna-
shit.
They did this with Tiger Woods.
Yeah.
The minute they took Tiger Woods out of the golf game, they tried to do it with just PGA, and then I think they tried to do
It was
with
called
Rory.
Red. It was called Red Polo Shirt Black Gentleman Golf, wasn't it?
No, they did Rory McIlroy, and it just
Okay.
it's not the same.
Rory McIlroy Golf. Go fuck yourself. Rory
It's just not
McIlroy.
the same. It's not
Now-
gonna be the same.
What about like the horrible reputation FIFA has?
Horrible.
And the fact that maybe there are a contingent of people that will like this because you're just giving money to FIFA, which seems like a horrible federation or whatever the hell they are, like a company, you know what I'm saying, with all the
FIFA,
corruption.
by the way, has announced they're going to release their own rival game.
Oh, really?
They're
Oh,
gonna take
Why
their
are they screwing this up? I mean, like, so should
I like this.
So should I buy FIFA 2022 now because there's going to be next year is going to be shit.
That'll be the last one, and then in 2023 you'll have competing FIFA non-EA game
Well,
and then EA non-FIFA game.
Competition can be good, but
Yeah.
I don't know about this.
I hope you get the FIFA game. You open it up and it's like, hold on, there's a note in here that says, "Help me!" Like, who made this? Like, they're just corrupt as shit, and they have like slave labor, and like,
they're terrible.
Everything that they do
FIFA's
is
trash.
Like, yeah, this is made in some horrible country that treats all its employees horrible, and it's to the highest bidder.
How many hundreds of people are we up to that have died building the stadiums for Qatar?
Yeah, and then
I mean, it's
yeah,
just
that's
gross.
bad.
It's
That's
gross.
bad stuff.
And then
They're just gross.
they'll just take whatever money that's
It's
all they
the
care.
only sporting organization that makes the NFL look good.
You're right.
Is FIFA.
You're right.
That's
The
a joke for
IOC
you,
is
buddy.
pretty bad too.
Yeah. I mean, they're all corporations, right?
Yeah.
And what have we learned? So,
yeah. Anything
wow,
else?
I
Ross?
didn't know that you just dropped a straight bomb on somebody that loves the FIFA game. I am hurt.
So you're probably going to have like a decent game from EA that is going to be just unbranded with
Yeah.
rando
Their
character
game's good. I love
names.
FIFA. It's fun.
And then from FIFA, you're going to have
Trash. Straight trash.
maybe just an app that takes you to the nearest foosball table or something.
It's crazy.
Yeah, because what does FIFA know about designing? Like, they're going to get some
No.
Bobo ass
Oh my
developer.
God, they're going to get like somebody that made like Bubble Bobble on the iPhone.
And it's going to be corrupt again, so it's not going to be.
Yeah.
They're going to pay a lot for it and not get a good product.
be like, this case is made from some sort of feathers. What is this? Like some shit that is like, it's made out of some sort of a human. There's skin here.
This is human skin.
It's the first AAA side scroller released in like 20 years. We got a mystery out of Australia, Tom. Australian police investigating. Guy was a diver, body washed up. Okay.
Love these.
He's wearing a rebreather. You know about rebreathers?
I've seen rebreathers, like a lot of cave divers use them.
And apparently it doesn't bubble, right?
Yes, yeah.
So like this guy, he was on a stealth mission. He's a diver. He's got a rebreather. He's been identified as a foreign national. He's not Australian. Also, next to him or nearby, packages of cocaine worth $14 million.
Whoa!
So the speculation is this guy was like the go-between between like a boat offshore, trying to bring it into shore with his rebreather, no bubbles, and he like ran into a mishap of some sort.
No shit.
Yeah.
Wow, dude.
So they were probably like dumping off the cocaine offshore, and then this
Two
guy
small boats were seen in the area overnight.
And
yeah.
is he like by hand?
Yeah.
Swimming this shit?
He probably has one of those really cool underwater.
I've always wanted one of
go-karts
those.
things, like
you said if we started this podcast and made it 5 years, you'd buy me one of those.
I know. They have some cheap ones on sale on
don't want a
Facebook.
cheap
I
one.
just don't think. I think it's a
I want the
scam.
same one that Johnny Quest had.
Yeah.
Do you remember the guy?
Yellow.
This is a story.
Yes,
like
yellow.
A year or so ago, the guy had one, and he was running for the FBI, and he jumped in the lake, and they just got in a boat and followed the bubbles until he had to come up.
That's why you have the rebreather.
Yeah.
Which I have no idea how it works, by the way. Like, I'm like, how? There's something where you breathe, you exhale, and it takes that exhale and then somehow filters it,
Scrubs the CO2 out.
and then
that part I understand.
and then gives you.
Where does it get more oxygen, though?
It adds pure oxygen to your exhale to make a.
So it's got like a little mini tank in there or something?
Like a cartridge, I think.
It's a huge, it's a big ass square box you put in your
Okay.
back, so it's multiple tanks. It's a weird thing. Like they use them for cave diving and or like the military, but the cave diving because you don't want to disturb the roof of the cave and stuff with your bubbles because
what kind of a pussy ass cave roof you got?
it stays there for too long, and they're all into preserving the environment or whatever. So they
that's
use these
important.
rebreathers.
That's important.
But it's
Fucking
like
cave huggers.
it's crazy that we have that technology because it somehow adds the oxygen to your exhaled breath to recreate new breathable air for you all in
They
one
have all
backpack.
kinds of crazy shit. Like Andrea's granddad, he has a straw that he can just like fall over into a river and put it in there. And
Yeah.
he's like, I can
filter.
drink any water I want and
Life
live
straw.
out here. Yeah.
I got a bunch of those.
Yeah, he's the livestock king, and he uses them. He's like, we were out there re-engineering an Indian cemetery, and I fell over, and I just drank out of a creek until they rescued me. He's a tough ass.
Anyway, that's I guess people are still using crazy ways to smuggle in drugs, right? And
I think
and you
it's
can
for
buy
fun
anything on
at
the
this
internet,
point, right? It's for fun at this point.
I don't know. This guy had 14 million on him, and just is on his person.
That's crazy.
There's so many boats.
That's what I'm saying. There's so many other ways to do it.
It seemed like the marinas down in Miami or whatever, who is checking to see who's coming into there? Like, I don't know.
Well, nothing's coming in. That's the thing, right? With supply chain and everything else. I bet it's really hard now because we have such less, things coming and going that I would imagine that you'd stick out like a sore thumb, right? Well, if you were doing something truly nefarious.
I'm just saying, like a normal, like my boat, I if I go to St. Augustine, I'll pull into a marina, right?
Okay.
Like no one's seeing where it came from or whatever. I can load any big giant things, bags, duffel bags and stuff. No one would give a shit. They would just assume that I'm on vacation.
But if you like buzzed over to Colombia and back,
that would look weird.
Yeah.
they might give you a little bit more scrutiny.
Yeah. I'm coming up the intercoastal.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
But there's tons of ways. Like they just, it was not too long ago. They found like a mini submarine. These motherfuckers use, and it's like once a month. There's a story about like they find like a bunch of tiki torches or like tiki statues that were just all made out of cocaine. And, They found that one. 10 got through before that happened.
You're right. And then, we're only seeing the ones that there's millions.
Oh, it's coming through all the time.
And there are tunnels and shit, right? There's
just look at the Weeknd's music output. If there was no cocaine coming into this country, he would not be putting out albums like this.
The mini submarine, and I'm a big fan of the mini submarine, and it almost got ruined a couple years ago when that millionaire took that journalist down in his mini submarine and he raped her and he like killed her.
Yeah.
But that story, I'm still obsessed with that. That shit's bananas. That guy's a real supervillain, right?
You talk about commitment to the bit. He sunk that submarine to fucking hide the body,
and then he pretended like he was like, help,
Yeah.
It's
imagine sinking a submarine to get away with murder and not getting away with it.
I know.
Anything else, Ross, or should we go to break?
I got a bunch of news. You want
Let's
more?
do one more.
Let's do
All right. The University of Michigan is recommending you piss on your plants. We'll just Maine. Maine's getting rid of their obscene license plate. Oh, we had the first all-black team to climb Everest.
No shit.
Yeah. 3 people didn't make it. I don't know if that was the white guys or what. Okay. Kentucky Derby winner not going to Preakness. Bitch-ass horse.
The one that won. Interesting.
I heard a lot of gamblers out there talk about that, and
people were very confused that we didn't talk about it on Nerd Jock, and I said I brought it up that morning, and Tom has no interest in the Derby.
No, it's not that I have no interest. Is that I don't know enough about it.
He draws
a
line in the sand. He hates animal cruelty.
I know first.
I don't think that's why.
Was it first?
Tom only talks about the Derby if one of the horses gets shot.
Right.
I think that it was the last place, like the farthest odds to win, which
because he was like a last minute switch.
It was 80-1, right?
And I think
he wasn't even supposed to be in the damn race.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the actual like jockey and stuff, like it was like so unlikely that this horse and that jockey won the race that it's like insane. Like nobody predicted it. No one.
It wasn't supposed to happen.
Yeah. And by the way, I couldn't wait to bet against it. Apparently, I've learned a lot since this story. But you
in 3 days, he's learned a lot.
Well, I learned because I hear people talking about it.
Did you know a horse's foot is called a hoof?
Between your ailments, building trundle beds, how do you have time to learn all this new stuff?
I listen to gambling podcasts while I build the trundle bed.
It's a trundle of knowledge.
Anyway, I couldn't wait to bet against this horse ever winning again because the public's like, "Oh, this horse is fast," so. But apparently,
they're skipping the Preakness, but they're doing the next one. But that's not
bet
the
against
story.
Old Red Strike.
This guy, South Carolina, cops got called. They got called to an unresponsive man in a backyard, right? So they go. This guy's had a heart attack and died in his backyard, and so they're like they're going around trying to inform his next of kin and stuff, and everybody. His girlfriend. They can't find his fucking girlfriend when they're looking for her. They find her wallet or her apartment, but they can't find anything else. They're like, we did find that guy next to that big weird hole. So they go back to the yard, and his girlfriend is dead, wrapped in plastic. # Twin Peaks in the bag, in the hole. He killed her, took her out to the backyard, got her in the hole, had a heart attack trying to cover up.
That is instant karma.
Wow. This is a lesson to all old men out there. Digging a hole is hard.
It is hard.
If you haven't,
you do it all the time.
I know. Every
both
time,
figuratively and in real life.
But every time, you think you're like, I'll dig this grave, right? And thinking that you still can do it, but it's like you haven't dug a grave in 20 years, and then you go to dig it.
How deep do you need to go?
And you fucking have a heart attack.
That's industry standard,
right?
Yeah.
6 feet. That's a lot.
Yeah.
So digging is incredly hard.
It is. It really is.
Yeah. And then you're like,
it's hard in good dirt. In good, soft dirt, it's hard. But when you run into a situation where there's a root, where there's a rock, that's fucking. It sucks.
Yeah, it's the worst.
So when that happens, is it just case closed? Do they even bother investigating if the guy did murder her?
Well, you at least walk around in their house and pull all their drawers open and stuff, right? And look around.
It's obvious by just that story, but technically not 100%.
Somebody else could have killed her, and he's just covering it up.
Yeah. Well, you don't exactly.
Or he came across them burying her.
Oh, come on! When did we stop? When did we start investigating everything and just we need to do more of the guy killed her.
We did the math.
Yeah, just push him in the hole and cover it up.
The murderer killed her, scared him to death, put the shovel in his hands.
This is the problem with the world: is that everything. Well, I can't be satisfied with that answer. Give me more.
Or it's a setup and someone killed them both and they made it look like I'm thinking like Sam.
Oh, maybe she killed him first and then killed herself and wrapped herself in blood. No. You guys are idiots.
That's exactly what happened. Old man killed her, died. That's it. Case closed. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we'll do some dump them out and be on our way.
Old man killed her.
If it's an old man, he killed her for sure.
Yeah, it's usually the husband, yeah.
Always. Let's do this one. The name of the...
Unless it's a worker. A lot of times it's a workman and it was in the neighborhood.
Oh,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
true.
yeah, yeah.
That's true. Just a random... And he was mad that day. And he had nothing to do with anything. This is Mike Chick. The name of the song is Call Up the Doctor. We'll be right back with more. What show is this?
A mediocre.
This is the mediocre one. Okay, yeah. That show. Are you looking for a new car? Maybe you're looking for a used car. Maybe you're looking for a Silverado. Maybe you want a mid-engine Corvette. Or maybe you just want one of those amazingly reliable Subarus or Mitsubishis. Well, we got guys you need to talk to. You need to go talk to Mike Stacks on the Mitsubishi and Subaru side. And on the Chevy side, you need to get a hold of our friend, everybody loves him, J.C. Harrelson.
Yep, we just had a meeting with our dealership sponsors, and the Don Mealy Group refuses to sell over MSRP. And I heard from them personally that a lot of dealerships are selling cars because the market is so crazy above MSRP. And when you buy a car above MSRP, you are immediately upside down fast.
Not good.
And Don Mealy has vowed not to do that. So when you buy a vehicle from DM Chevy in Claremont, Sport Subaru, Sport Mitsubishi, right there on West Colonial Drive in front of the fairgrounds, you will not pay over MSRP. Plus, on the Subaru side, no dealer fee still. A lot of dealerships are not doing that because the market is insane right now.
A lot of them brought them back. That's what I heard. I heard that the dealer fees are like, no, we got it. We need the dealer fee.
Plus, I mean, they are still doing a lot of stuff for local charity. I talked to our buddy Tony. He's like, hey, Subaru is still supporting local charities, and that's something a lot of people have pulled back on, but not Sport Subaru because they vowed to do something for the community. So when you support these dealerships, they are supporting local charities.
Yeah, and there's some stuff we can't even talk about right now that Tony's working on that we're going to hopefully get to talk about in the near future. But yeah, you owe it to yourself, especially if you're looking for a car, to make it easy on yourself by getting a leg up. And what I mean by that is you have a point of contact. You have somebody you can talk to. So the names you need are Mike Stacks and J.C. Harrelson. J.C.'s going to be your Chevy dealer. He's going to be your Corvette guy. He's going to know all about that. And Mike can handle everything else. But these guys are good dudes.
Yep, it's Sport Subaru, Sport Mitsubishi right there in West Colonial Drive, and Don Mealy Chevrolet in Claremont.
Gonna do some. You gonna do a little disco dancing? Let me see you do that Lizzo dance.
I didn't even see it.
We got to get Tom to do the Lizzo TikTok dance.
Yeah, that's a good song.
It'll go viral, I'm telling you.
It's about damn time.
In a minute, I'm gonna need a sentimental man or woman to pump me up. You don't know it? Come on.
He doesn't listen to current music. Oh, welcome back to the show, everybody. Hey, so I got out of doing the daddy dance.
Well, the last time we talked to you, you wanted to do it.
I did want to do it.
And then you told me, I'm doing it. I'll show you guys.
Yeah,
Wait, so are you skipping the Dump 'Em Out theme song?
Yeah, no. I was just going to play. I wasn't going to put this in Dump 'Em Out because people get so tired of hearing my kid. Here, check this out. This is just real fast. I want to get it out of the way because then you can clown me.
All right, so we talked about this, and I want you to tell Mr. Tom and Miss Sam what you told me about daddy dancing. Go ahead.
I don't want Dad to do the daddy dance.
There you go.
She definitely had a gun held to her.
There you go. It was in her mouth. It was in her mouth.
I've heard these tapes before.
That was under duress. 100%.
No, she doesn't want me to do the daddy dance. She doesn't want Andrea to do the mommy dance. There's been a...
Show them what you told me.
What is
Not
she
like she was reading off a paper.
She does. She clams up for whatever reason. She can get on stage in costuming and makeup and dance.
Wave
and
a
twirl.
knife in her face, she gets nervous.
Yeah, exactly. You force her to say something she doesn't want to say, and she clams all up. But no, she just doesn't want me to do it. And
Or isn't that the whole purpose? Is like the adults embarrassing the kids? Like that's there's a thing.
I honestly don't know the purpose of it.
I would think it would just be to show support.
Yeah,
right?
that's what I thought.
Yeah.
But the mixture of opinions that I've gotten on this, I got a different one from our buddy from Owen from Ono Radio Show. Owen texted me and it was like, "Hey man, I love you, but fuck the dad dance and fuck the dads that dance it. He's like trying to steal those kids' shine.
You think that's what it is?
That's what he said. He was like, they always get out there. They always try to one up. They always try to one up these hardworking youth. And they're dancing, and they get out there, and they always like try to do better than them and steal all the applause. And I was like, damn, I've never really thought of it like that. I really haven't thought of it like that.
That is an interesting take.
It is.
It's a weird take.
And then he was like, I hope that doesn't make you mad. I'm like, I don't care. It doesn't make me mad. I mean, and then we got to talking about it more. And the first thing Maisie said was to Andrea, she said, I don't want you doing the daddy dance. And Andrea's like, well, or doing the mommy dance. And Andrea's like, well, he's doing the daddy dance. And she's like, I don't want that either. So she doesn't want any of it. Like, none of it.
But are you still going to do it?
I was going to use it as my out.
So then me and Tom win the bet.
That's fine, whatever. I mean, the bets around here are meaningless. I mean, so
That's also true. I'm the only one that's ever held up my end of the bargain.
That is true.
You dressed like Tom.
That was the first TikTok video.
I had my titties out on TikTok.
No, you did another one where you dressed fully.
Oh, that's right. I did do that too. Yeah.
You're really good at not welching.
Tom sang the national anthem, but that was outside.
I'll hold up my bets. I just don't lose them that often.
Hey!
Good at betting.
Now, in my non-professional opinion, parents doing shit at the kids' event is all parents interjecting themselves into it. And
so, like more like Owens.
You don't need any of that. Nobody needs any of that. You know what my kid wants to do? He wants to play basketball with his friends. Does he want me out there playing horse with them? Fuck no.
Yeah.
Fuck no.
I think that's a good way of looking at it.
Well, you got to embarrass them so they hate you. Like that's the whole point, right? It's like,
but it's amazing the amount of people that want to come hard, like they think that my original intent of doing it was to try and steal shine from May. Which I would never do. It's impossible.
That's what every other parent is trying to do.
Yeah, I would never do that. Like, it's impossible to do that. That's her thing. But I've never looked at it like that. So I told Owen, I was like, hey, I've never really thought of it like that. Okay. He said his take was more from working those shows, running the soundboard, and seeing how those guys seeing how those guys act.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he's like, that's not you, but I'm just giving you this side. Okay, I see it. Never thought of that, but I see it.
Maybe it's the business, and follow me here. All right, I'll call this classic Clear Channel, right? So whatever it takes to get someone to do something entertaining for free, they're into, right? So the business of this dance is insane. Like, you have to pay the fees, the costuming, it's nuts. You put your money in for the travel, the trophies, it's thousands of dollars, right? And the person that organizes this knows that, right? So then they're like, all right, well, of course, every parent has to sit in the crowd and watch the kids perform. They're probably tired of that.
Let's get them more invested.
Let's get the parents to do something where it's free. Like, they're not paying to do it, but it's free entertainment for us to market to the audience of, like, now there's some dads dancing.
Does the audience even want that, though?
I guess,
because isn't the audience just the parents of the kids that are dancing?
Yeah, but it's a moment of levity. Look at this fat dad dancing. That's all they're laughing at him.
I will say that after witnessing it once, I've only witnessed it once, the reaction is good. The reaction is more of a like, this is funny. It's not... I don't think it's ever looked at like I never looked at it like a negative thing. I was like, oh, look at these guys doing their thing. You know,
it'd be really funny if you went Magic Mike style and started going the sexy route.
Oh, not in front of the kids.
no, but not too. You're not whipping your dong out. No, but I'm just saying, there's a.
Whoa, let's not vote that out yet. I mean,
I'm just saying you went more towards the sexy style of
sausage pizza.
You're dancing a pony by Genuine. Wait a minute.
You can do
that was my first choice.
You can do some pelvic thrusting.
Maisie already does that now.
But the dads, I would laugh at that. Like, look at them sexy dance.
Let me lick you up and down.
Anyway, what else we got?
We haven't even done the dump them out.
No, but I was going to skip. Let's just skip it. Fucking skip it. People hate it anyway. Just skip
Mexican Mother's Day.
Yeah, did you guys know when Mexican Mother's Day is?
No.
This is a joke from my papa.
That's what I thought too, because as I sat at La Fiesta Mexican restaurant, my daughter's favorite restaurant, the guy that put down our chips was like, hey, do you know when Mexican Mother's Day is?
Oh,
and I said that. I was like, oh, exactly like that. So I had to put it on the list because May 10th is actually Mexican Mother's Day. It's a completely different holiday. It's an actual.
Was he serious?
Yeah, he was being serious. He wasn't doing a joke. I thought he was doing a joke.
Dia de las Madres.
Yeah, and I did the
everywhere in the world doesn't
has a different Mother's Day. Yeah.
On the same day.
Really?
You'd know that if you listen to my Patreon. I did a whole episode.
I went on there and it wasn't what I expected. So
you didn't pay.
left.
No, he thought it was whole.
Yeah, well, I got him through a different. I got him through my Twain 305 at AOL.
Don't give that out, dude. I'm using that for our OnlyFans.
Anyway, so I didn't know that other countries.
Yeah.
So every country has a different Mother's Day.
Not every country.
Some have the same.
Some are like for different religious reasons.
Depends on the region. Like I would imagine
Does
that
Canada have the same Mother's Day as us?
I don't know.
Because if
so.
Mexico is different, then it makes sense that Canada's different.
How
right?
does that make sense?
Well, it's on the bottom. You got to be different on the top.
And we're here. Yeah.
It makes too much sense.
He's right. You don't wear hats on your feet. You don't wear shoes on your head.
Yeah, like, if I was Canada, I'd be like, well, Mexico's doing it. Let's do it different than the fucking Americans.
I hate to do this to you, but the hats on the feet thing that Roscoe said, it checks out. So I'm sorry. It checks out. It's just science.
This is bullshit. I don't want to have to call my mom on a different day if she's in fucking Mexico.
She's not Mexican. I think you're fine.
Well, but she goes to Mexico.
The funny thing is, I live in Florida, and I'm conditioned to sit down, and when the guy goes, hey, you know when Mexican Mother's Day is? And I'm like, oh, goddamn right, I'll do. Like,
now, if you are
weird.
Mexican-American, do you
do both? You get double.
Well, it's more to do with their like Catholicism, and that they actually praise Guadalupe.
Are you joking?
That's when you yell Guadalupe.
No.
I thought he was going to go, Guadalupe!
They worship the Virgin Guadalupe.
Oh, okay.
Seriously.
I thought that was another joke.
Guadalupe fiasco.
So,
Damn it.
but why do they tie religion into it? It's a weird.
Now Guadalupe. I remember this. There was like a teen girl in like the 60s or 70s who saw the Virgin Mary appear in Guadalupe, and it became a big deal.
Does that go in the same category as like a bust of Mary who cries blood tear?
This may not be a real question, but there's a real answer to this. There are different levels of that, like a statue that cries blood or something. That's one level, but the actual an appearance of the Virgin Mary, like a ghostly apparition, or even like a full blown, a
vision
body appearance. That's a whole other category because she came to that spot. And Guadalupe was special.
In the UK, they have Mothering Day, and that takes place on the 4th Sunday of Lent. I mean, it's different everywhere.
Happy Mothering Day, mother!
I get mad at people that believe in superstitious things.
You hate Stevie Wonder?
No. But I'm not done
blind,
yet.
by the way.
But because I don't
true.
get mad that they believe it, I get mad that they don't get mad that the statue.
I get mad that they don't get mad.
It's a double mad.
Because you're visiting the statue that cries blood and you believe it, right? So, but then when you get there, it's not doing it. Because it never does it in front of you, right?
should have told you.
Right.
It did it one time years ago that some like a little girl saw, and it's some like hearsay or whatever.
Somebody got some hot dog ketchup on his eye. They thought it was blood. The rest is history.
So
hey, that's a Dairy Girls episode.
I'm mad that they believe it, and then they aren't mad that it's not currently doing it because you went all this way and it's not. And it doesn't.
You want to yell, "Do the thing"?
Couldn't they at least install? Follow me. I'm being serious.
For sure.
A smaller version that does it. So this is what it looked like. And go like, this is what it looked like when it did it. I would take
like
that.
a replica, yeah.
I would take that, and I would visit. It'd be a better pilgrimage.
These people, though, it's not. You're thinking their belief is like the shallow end of the pool. They're all the way over in the diving well of belief, Tom.
Yeah, he's right.
People will go to this thing where it cried blood in 1976, and they'll be like, "That's the one that cried blood in 1976," and they'll touch it, and they'll be like, "It's still got magic in it.
Yeah.
It's still got the magic in it."
And they're healed.
And they're good after that.
Ooh, I saw this morbid story on TikTok that kind of lends this. So someone stole.
Oh no!
This was,
oh no! God damn it!
Someone stole some radioactive material from a hospital in like Africa or something like that, or South America. I forgot what it was.
Wait a minute, is this another dirty joke? I feel like this goes in the same category as Mexican Mother's Day.
Guadalupe.
You hear about they stole some radioactive material from a hospital in Africa.
And then it glowed. It was like some sort of chemotherapy treatment or something like that, whatever. And they stole it and they like broke it open. It was in like a goddamn like
In the thing?
Yeah, in the thing. But they like hammered it open and they got it out. And then it got its way into this village, right? Where the people were like, oh my God, this is like some sort of supernatural healing power. Like it glows. And then
this is terrible.
People were visiting it and then like rubbing it on their face.
Put the radiation on my tongue.
Yeah, and that's and then it fucking gave a bunch of people radioactive poisoning and shit. Where like some people died, some people got burned.
And you saw this on TikTok?
Yeah,
did they at least put Imagine Dragons radioactive underneath it? Did they at least like go in there?
And then some guy behind a bad green screen was like, morbid facts.
What is on your algorithm, man?
You got some dark shit on
morbid facts. I don't even want to see that.
You gotta scroll faster. Quit watching the whole thing.
Because
then they're gonna send you more.
I'm interested in it.
So then you do want it.
That happens a lot, though, Tom. Where like, because a lot of this medical equipment has high grade nuclear powered radiation emitting particles in it, and they just get recycled to like South America or something, and these guys start tearing it apart. They don't know what the fuck is in there, and the isotopes just end up in a mix of metal, or like somebody takes it home as a Lucky Charm or something. And then their whole goddamn village just gets thyroid cancer for the next 20 years.
It's crazy, but you also then when they find out, like this is what also bothers me is that when they find out they are not non-religious anymore, like they should be like, well, why didn't the gods that I believe in protect me from this radioactive material? They let me rub it on my face. I'm dying.
You can make that argument with any religious person.
I know. It was like, you did it because you were superstitious, and the fact that it killed you didn't make you less superstitious. And that's what I don't know.
He has a plan.
Mary Curie died of science and didn't make her love any science less.
That's true. No. All right. So, Daniel.
Are we doing it now?
I'm doing the. Well, I mean, I was going to let you guys keep talking because I didn't think this was going to be a showstopper, but just so
I
people
was just bringing it in so we didn't forget.
Yeah, just so people don't call me a fucking liar.
Speaking of death by radioactivity,
I'm doing the Mountain Dilk challenge.
Let's end with this. So hold on. What are you pouring in?
I'm pouring. I got a full fat milk. This is TG Lee whole milk, vitamin D. I don't know why I said whole half.
The Mountain Dilk challenge sounds like something a girl gets paid $2,000 to do.
I know, right? And this is flaming hot Mountain Dew.
I've never even seen that before.
We found it at Publix. It's all over the place. And then you're supposed to pour it into the milk like that.
Mountain Dew's going crazy, like Oreos, where they're just trying all kinds of shit.
Oh, God.
And that looks disgusting.
And then you're supposed to drink it.
Does it taste like flaming hot Cheetos? Or like
it's supposed to, yeah. You want to try it?
I'm going to drink it. It's got
Take a sip.
Oh, I want to take a sip of the
take a sip of the flaming hot. Oh, God. You're going for the whole thing? Oh, my God. I should be videotaping this. Videotaping? How old am I?
There's isotopes in there.
It goes down easy.
How'd it taste?
Creamsicle.
Oh.
Tastes like a creamsicle.
Really? That's what it looked like.
Well, let me
not bad at all.
Smell this.
Oh, your stomach's
So I just proved to everybody that I always thought it would. No, taste it. It's not bad. Rodney Bowe, I got to give him credit. He's the one that, he's a daring man, and he said, it's just sugar. You're just putting more sugar into your milk. He's like, it's not going to taste bad. And I go, I agree with you. It's not going to be bad at all. It's just, you're just over-sugaring your milk, which is just every cereal.
And that's when...
It's fine.
That is disturbing. Just the actual flaming hot Mountain Dew itself.
It's fine.
That's a unique way to describe a flavor.
Well, there you go. Mountain Dilk challenge.
What does it taste like?
I dilked it up. It tastes like a creamsicle.
No, what does it taste like?
Lemon lime.
There is a little creamsicle type. Because it's sweet.
Yeah, it's sweet lemon hot. Sweet hot lemon. You can't drink that because he already drank it, but
it's happening.
I hope you start projectile vomiting, and then for me, the tetanus sets in.
No, but you know what would happen? Then all of our listeners would come here. They'd make a pilgrimage, and they'd be like, "Rub the flaming hot on me." My tetanus. They'd come here. It'd be a pilgrimage.
So a lot of people did want you to puke in their front yard, which is weird to me. They're like, Medium Appreciation Week. They're like, I wish he would have puked in my front yard.
I mean, I'll do it next year, but
if you send us $1,000, I will drive Daniel to your front yard and he will vomit.
I'll do it for less of that.
We'll push him out.
Look, if I'm free this weekend and you PayPal us $500, I'll give you half off this weekend. What? I'll come to your house. I'll drink a Mountain Dilk in front of you, and I'll puke on your steps. $500 though,
pig's feet,
and you can't jack off in front of me. You got to do. You can video it. And you can jack off later.
Yeah, it's got to be cash on the barrel. ahead.
That wasn't bad
We're
at
not
all.
paying taxes on that.
So thank you, Rodney, for giving but that's so people like even EJ was like the fucking liars. What have you done ever, EJ? Nothing.
Are the challenges getting easier?
Yes.
Like you know, it used
We
to,
hit our peak with ALS
Have
Ice
you
Bucket
guys done the
Challenge.
Sprite challenge yet?
What's that?
Oh, the chug of
Where
Sprite.
you chug the Sprite and try not to burp?
I don't think you can, right? I think it's impossible to do that.
It doesn't sound as hard as planking in the middle of a highway.
Right.
Well, because it used to be like the cinnamon challenge. I feel like that one was nearly impossible to gulp down.
The OG is the gallon of milk challenge.
Right.
Yeah, or the
Presidential Fitness Challenge?
Wasn't
That's a
there
good one.
100 hard-boiled egg
That
challenge?
was in Cool Hand Luke.
Yeah, that's the original challenge, right?
Yeah, that might be.
Like, or the gallon milk.
What was
challenge.
the
that was a
first-
jackass.
I don't think I ever heard the egg one.
What was the
Yeah,
first
Cool
challenge?
Hand. I think it was Cool Hand
But
Luke,
like
100
the
eggs.
first, like,
Goddamn.
well, let's narrow it down. First social media challenge. I would say the first one that I knew of was Ice Bucket for like charity.
Right.
I think the first challenge was, can we dunk you in the river in the cage, and if you survive,
You're not a witch.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
right.
Or no, if you survive, you are a witch. If you die, then
Yeah.
well, at least you're
Oops.
going to heaven. Or whatever. I don't know what their justification was. Like once they killed the little teen that they thought was a witch, like did they feel bad? They're like, oh, she wasn't a
No,
witch.
they never felt
Or
bad.
do they feel good that they
Now
didn't have a
everybody
witch?
knows you're not a witch. Don't you feel better about it?
Yeah.
I got an article
dead.
of social media contests, a timeline of viral challenges.
Nice work.
What was the
This says cinnamon challenge was 2013. The peak was 2013.
okay
With
cinnamon?
cinnamon was
Cinnamon
the peak?
challenge.
Okay.
Well,
you
that's
hit-
when the peak.
Yeah.
You
peaked
got
on
it, Tom.
social
I think that's
media.
when we had Glozella. Do you remember her?
Oh, God.
The Harlem Shake, also 2013.
We did that. We've done a lot of these. Boy, do we.
Planking, also 2013.
Caesar-
2013 was a.
What about owling?
Caesar was
Oh,
in
yeah,
original.
owling. I forgot about
Let's
owling.
bring them all back and do retro.
The Ice Bucket Challenge was the summer of 2014.
And that one you got guilted into. You know what? When Phil Rollins was here with Orlando City, he still owned the team, and he didn't do weird things that I guess he did. Whatever. And he he linked us on Facebook and was like, "Dude, Tom and Dad, do the Ice Bucket Challenge, mate."
Right.
And then we're all. I'm like, I remember looking at it, I'm like, "Fuck," because it's attached to like some sort of a disease or
Yeah,
something.
yeah,
If I
if you
don't
don't-
do
yeah.
it, and you know, I didn't do it.
Me neither.
Yeah.
Me neither. And people have challenged me for charity all that. I pretend like I don't see it. I saw it though.
You're the bad
I
person.
see them all.
No, he taught me that.
I
He's
see
like,
them all.
He's like, just pretend you didn't see it. I was like,
Yeah.
he's a genius.
We got the Kylie Jenner Lips Challenge in 2015.
What
which
is that?
where you
You have to run up and touch Kylie Jenner's lips and not get bit.
you put a shot glass over your mouth, suck in the air, and then release, which will give your lips a lip plumping effect.
Oh, that thing where you're a kid and you put a coffee
Yeah.
cup around your mouth and make a big red ring around your
I
face.
did that for 1 full week. 1 full week.
Will it make your lips plump?
Yeah.
I don't
give him
know.
a
You
hickey.
tell me.
It essentially gives you a hickey.
Yeah, you plump them up and then you go play a guitar with your roast beef lips, like on TikTok.
That's for Monday.
All the goddamn TikTok. I fucking hate TikTok.
I've never heard of this one. The pencil game / Charlie Challenge.
I played the pencil game before.
Which peaked in May of 2015. It's lying one pencil across the other on top of a piece of paper with yes or no in every corner. People would ask Charlie to answer the questions as the pencil would mysteriously move.
Charlie.
I've
Who's
never
Charlie?
heard that one.
People are so stupid in
missed
the
that
world. The world is stupid.
Fuck you, 2015.
2015 had the worst ones. Don't Judge Challenge, where people made video transformations of themselves, starting with looking as ugly as possible to ending as attractive as possible, and played against musical backgrounds.
See, this all predates the internet, though. I remember when we were kids, it was like you can't eat a cracker and whistle at the same time.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
you can't eat
Yeah.
3 crackers. You can't eat like a sleeve of crackers in
We
10
did,
minutes. I remember a cracker-related
yeah,
one.
yeah,
that, like,
yeah.
We did. You
predated
can't
the internet.
run down the beach with a grape in your ass cheeks, and if it falls out, you have to eat it.
That was the original butt grape.
Yeah, we did the butt grape challenge.
Well, remember the Jackass? I think this was in CKY, where there was like some urban legend. You can't take a shit while running full speed. Have you heard of that? And then,
My dad used to warn me about that. Like, who says that?
and then Rab himself. You remember him?
I remember
Yeah.
Rab himself. Yeah.
He was in the new one, I think.
He did it. He ran full speed and shit.
He's an old ass man, still has the goatee.
There was the running. There was a running man challenge.
That was when Stephen
Cheerio
Hawking-
challenge.
Stephen Hawking was still alive, and he saw it, and he was like, everything I knew was a lie. Everything I do was
Stupid.
So we don't remember any of the challenges between 2015 and really after that.
That's when people started like complaining about what a bad year it was. That was like,
Yeah,
what a bad year we just had.
yeah.
So-and-so died and a mean thing happened. And I can't wait for next year. And then
I hate pre-corona times.
Yeah, it's way better now.
Yeah.
fucking whiny bitches.
I like it now. I know where I stand now. I got my Mountain Dilk. Mexican Mother's Day was good.
Gangnam Style.
Oh, that guy. What happened to that guy?
Flash mobs.
What happened to flash mobs?
The milk
we
thing.
should do one.
I always thought it
The
would.
mannequin challenge.
I always thought it would be interesting to watch the Ku Klux Klan do a flash mob.
Oh my god.
I'd be like, oh my god.
I don't know if it died out with
You're like,
COVID.
they like fun a little bit.
But once a year, I'd go pick up one of my kids from high school, and there would be like at the little park by the high school, there would just be like 50 kids all huddle up against one of those little pavilions that homeless guys sleep in. And like once a year at my kids' school, they would all get together and try to do the milk gallon challenge, like in the park, and just all puke all over the park.
All right.
You can't fucking do it.
Oh, let's end with this because this is another crazy wife story. So
I feel like we need her on next week to
Defend herself?
Yeah,
right
it's
here.
only fair. It's only fair.
So she is making Max and Tommy hand out invitations to the end of the year party that she's throwing at a park for all the kids at the school.
Why is she doing
Is this
the
a charity
most?
event?
Like, no.
She's trying to shame the other moms and be best mom.
Is this a teacher request?
Right.
No.
This is to be king mom or queen mom.
I don't know what it's for, but I've
for clout, dude.
I've got dragged into it. She's renting
It's for mom clout.
a snow cone food truck. Seriously.
Oh, Kona? I know that one. It goes to my neighborhood.
Yeah, Maisie gets it a dance.
And she rented it for an hour.
It's expensive.
To give free snow cones to all the kids.
Free?
Yeah.
Not even just there'll be a lot of kids here coming.
No.
Come on down. We've got activities for the kids, like learn how to build your own Trindle bag.
This
Hey,
is
shoot me the time.
too
I want
much.
free stuff. Huh?
And by the way, Tommy refuses to hand out the invitations. Even he was
Good
like,
for him.
"What?" Because Crystal's like, they're still in your bag. Did you hand them out? He's like, no.
What is you?
No, Max handed them out. But Tommy didn't want to hand them out.
wants to let
Anyway,
him sneak
I hope
out
who
some-
does this?
I hope he does what really fucked up letter carriers do, and he just dumps them all into a dumpster.
Who have you
Throw them in
ever
the
heard of
wood area.
any of this end of the year party, the last day of school?
Hell no.
The
That
one
some
that
parent throws?
Okay, here's the one that I hate. I hate the one where it's like mom's last day of school, sitting in their front yard with a wine glass that's as big as like a bucket, and they're like, or no,
That's first day of school.
Or first day of school. I hate
Yes.
all that. I just hate all of that.
Johnny
And I
was
guess-
leader of one.
And I guess you put that in the same category of making it about you,
Oh, yeah.
just like the dance
sure.
dads,
Absolutely.
right? So I can kind of maybe I learned from this show.
Also, you hate your kids.
yeah,
If you're
and I
like
don't
that
hate.
happy about your kids going to school.
Yeah, I
you
don't
your
hate
fucking
Maisie.
kids.
I enjoy spending time
it's
with her.
always the people that say how much their kids are their lives that do that kind of shit.
Yeah, I'm not
It's like
into that.
clearly you don't like being around your children. You're celebrating they're leaving.
Also, this is going to sound fucked up, but with dance, I don't get I complain to you about it. I don't get enough time with May. You know what I mean? Like, she's so dedicated to this shit. I don't get enough time with her.
Anyway, it's no, and I know she's doing
Tracy
it.
Claus in the chat says that she goes to the bus stop and sprays the kids with silly string and water guns on the last day.
No, okay, yeah. That
Bully them.
well,
That's kind of funny.
I mean, it's better than. Is it it's just the whole class or the whole school or what?
no. She invited both classes,
Full classes.
the whole full classes, and
I think it's a good thing she's doing. I don't want to
How many
shit on
kids?
something good. It's a good thing.
well, no, I know it's like she's
Only
being
for the kids though.
a nice person.
No, I'm gonna swing
Not
by
for
there,
any
you
of the
know.
parents.
I'm swinging by and getting a snow cone.
Yeah. I guess anybody
fucking snow cone.
Yeah, like you,
Ross, I'll pick you up.
She rented it for like
Let's dress like kids.
Yeah, but now
bring little
now
tiny
the
bottles of
kids
rum.
are gonna bother their parents who don't want to have to fucking drag their kid to some party on the last day of school. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
It's a pain in the ass.
Now
to
I
the other
do hate
parents.
it when Maisie
Yeah.
goes.
It's a pain in the ass to me because I gotta go.
I know.
No, Maisie will go, Jonathan's dad said we could swing by and get just a piece of cake. And I'm like, oh, fuck. I'm like,
Yeah.
God damn it, where's the map? I don't know
So
where it
she's
is.
trying
Where's
to
the
be
address?
queen mom, but she's actually pissing off all the other parents.
Yeah. And then I guess the kids like it, but do
Tommy
they?
clearly doesn't. Tommy don't want
What
anybody
is
to come.
happening? What happened to the days of not caring like what your kids did?
You didn't have time to do it.
Yeah.
You just
you're
said,
you're at the coal mine and you go home. You're tired.
I don't know how the
you're
Vans
drunk.
have time to do it.
Yeah, we don't.
They're literally killing themselves for this.
I hope
for
you show
what?
up-
For nothing. They don't even want it. They just want to play video games.
That's all for nothing.
I hope you show up late, go to the ROM Pavilion, and sit next to a woman who looks like your wife for like half an hour.
Where the fuck are the snow cones? There's no snow cones here. Well, there is a roast compoyo.
All right, Sam, you doing a semantics this
Sammy,
weekend?
or you? What the fuck?
Sammy.
Yeah, actually, we're recording one tonight with Chris Rock from Rock Pit Brewing.
Oh, I thought you were going to get the scoop on the whole getting slapped
Yeah,
deal.
we're going to get the scoop. And also Trey Sywick from Getting Grub.
You know,
gonna be on the show tonight.
So that's how you say his last name. I've never known
Yeah.
how to say that. And I think I've said it wrong for 10 years.
Well, I always asked people how to pronounce their names.
Write that down.
Ross, Tots with Ross, of course, your podcast everybody can listen to on all platforms.
Go search for the Orlando Talk Show in any podcast form. You can see me at the Bull and Bush Wednesdays, of course, every Wednesday at 9 and first and third Saturday at 9. And me and Dan were just talking about June 4th at the Bull and Bush, 9 p.m. We're doing the 10-year anniversary show. It's going to be a real big show. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be a lot of great comedians. We're going to get 10 of the best Orlando comics doing 10 minutes each. There's so many good comics. I'm only going to tell you about one. Big Tim Murphy.
All right.
Coming out of, as far as I know, retirement to do a set at the Bull and Bush on June 4th.
Hey, leaner, meaner.
Is he?
Yeah, I think everybody's kind of tightened up. Yeah, I think he's lost some weight.
I haven't seen him in quite some time.
Yeah, I did one time. I rode my scooter to Sanford during an air show, and we met up for that. And he'd already lost some weight then, but I haven't seen him in like I guess a year.
I saw him at the West End. He was working.
Yeah, I saw him bouncing at the West End. Yeah.
All right, BDMs, we appreciate everything. And check out our watering holes because that really helps us out if you at least go by and tell them Tom and Dan sent you.
Yeah.
And we'll see you next week.
Hold it, fellas. Oh, wait a minute. I can't publish that. It's mediocre.